All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the live dive, an on air edition of everyone's favorite tower dive where myself and my panelists of experts discuss a wide variety of topics surrounding the league. I'm your host, Shuno, and joining me this afternoon is Kopek, mid laner and all star for ESG Genesis, AE Sober Quay, support for Aether Esports, Gwaine, marksman for Havoc, Uigui, aka Mr. Sorrow Brown, mid laner for AO Phoenix, and Voslo, resident feeder, captain, and jungler for Neps. So, first off, we're going to talk about upcoming Dota's Demons versus AOL Phoenix matchup. AOL Phoenix ended their season at a stunning 16-3 record. On the other side of the coin, Dota's Demons and with a stellar 8-11 record, getting off of the hard-boiled criminals getting locked up. With that in mind, I want everyone to tell me who they think their weakest player on both teams is, starting with you, Grain.
The weakest player on all teams.
On both teams, Doge Demons and AOL Phoenix.
Um, well, to start it off, I'm gonna go on Dota's Demons, I guess. So on Dota's Demons, um, CGEM isn't really playing in his normal role. I think Riv is fine, so I'm gonna put it between Fergal Venom and CGEM. Um, as I haven't seen a ton of what they can do in either respective lanes, and so I'd like to see them maybe perform a little bit better, maybe on some more comfortable champions. On AOL, that's a little bit of a harder press there. Um, I'm probably gonna say Sorrow Brown. I don't think that he's been performing that well recently, and so because of that, I don't think that he's been able to use his advantage that he's maybe gained sometimes and actually try to transverse that across the map. And so they're all super strong. So I don't really think that that's a big insult. So I'm just gonna have to put him as, I guess, the weakest.
Okay. Fair enough. Very fair indeed. Let's go down the line. Kopek, how do you feel?
So we had our last game of the season was against those demons, and while I don't think we played particularly well against them, I feel like I am Evelyn in particular was pretty like non-existent in that game. Um and well, it might just be the Diana jungle pick, like who picks Diana jungle, but um yeah, the only thing I have to say is like I'm Evelyn would need to be on something that isn't like Evelyn, but like a carry jungler and just look to try and play aggressive. On AOL side, I think I could agree with um Gawaine's pick here, but maybe to not go so hard on Brown. Um yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, maybe the yeah, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go on the I'm gonna join the Gawain hype train.
Join
Ooh,
the
I
And
like
hype
it.
train.
Always.
All right, fair enough. Similar answers so far. Mr. AE Sober Quay, how do you feel on who you think the weakest player for AOL Phoenix and Dota's Demons, respectively, are?
Hmm. Well, I think the weakest player on Dota's Demons probably is Seagram, just because I don't think he's mechanically inclined as most other people in this league. Personally, when I watch him play, and probably the weakest player on the AOL is also the mid laner Cyril Brown, just because I like the other players a little bit more than the Cyril.
All right. Fair enough. Dota's Demons not looking so hot so far. But Ooey Gooey, you are actually going to be up on the ball right after this one, in fact. So I think your expert opinion is highly valued here. Who do you think is the weakest player on your own team and on the enemy team?
For the enemy team, I'm gonna actually have to say Fergal is the weakest player for them. He's going to be facing Sievert, um, and to not show up and know that you're going to be facing a powerhouse in the top lane, that can be a huge downfall for the whole team. Um, and as for AOL, I'm also gonna have to agree with myself as the weakest player. Um,
Yikes.
uh, I don't really have to show that I can pop off as much because the rest of the team does, so I don't have to do flashy plays. Uh, my role of the team is more just keeping the mid laner in mid, and so I doesn't really make me look so flashy.
Okay, fair enough. Very humble response out of you, Uigui. Moving down, Vaslo, how do you feel about this?
I feel pretty interesting. I love everybody here. They're all fantastic. I don't know if anybody here knows that Dota's Demons does not have the same mid laner and the same jungler as before. They are actually playing PG Ice in the jungle, and I believe Sparky will be moving to mid lane for Dota's Demons. So I'm going to have to say that Fergal Venom or PG Ice is probably the most exposable on that team. Um, I haven't seen too much from Virgil that I really liked. I did like his Orn play. I think his Orn play was alright, and maybe something that he can look to play into Sievert that is just kind of this existing CC bot tank that will just be really annoying. And on the side of AOL, Ooey Gooey, the Goo Master himself, love you to death, but you're the gooeyest of the AOL squad. I think you haven't done anything flashy. Um, and as you said before, I just don't think like you're the person that really needs to be doing anything for your team either way. I just think that if Dota Demons is able to if Sparky is able to play something that can just get lane priority early game and just kind of push you in, and he's able to get lane priority and able the ability to roam around the scuttle crabs, I think that is probably like the weakest area of AOL.
Okay, very fair. As for my response, and what I would say the weakest link on Dota's Demons, if he didn't bench himself, I would go straight to their captain. I play support, as I think he's made several questionable decisions throughout the season. But if we're going on the assumption that he is not playing and he has indeed benched himself, I would indeed throw a little bit of flack onto Fergal Venom as well. I feel like he hasn't really shown a lot of pressure up in the top lane, hasn't done too much, and I think against a better top laner in Seaver, he's just going to get run over. We saw how the Dota Demons AOL match went earlier, and it didn't look pretty. For AOL Phoenix, Ooey Gooey, Mike Ooey Gooey under fire because I have to agree with everyone on the board. Not because you are a bad player by any means, but more so just the rest of your team is super standout. They look incredible. Nizumi, very good support smile, very strong AD APC. Sonic Ebbs, very amazing jungler, and Sievert, by far the best top laner in the league. So Ooey Gooey, a little bit under fire right here, unfortunately. So, moving on to the next topic for the Doze Demons and AWOL Phoenix matchup. What do you think, my panelist of experts, will be a contested champion pick and or a must ban for each of these teams here? We're going to start it up with Gawain once again.
Wait, could you repeat that?
Okay, absolutely. What do you think is a contested champion pick and or a must ban for both of these teams?
Obviously, I think the Evelyn for I am Evelyn, but supposedly, PG Ice is not going. PG Ice is going to play for the jungle. I am just hearing this. So I guess if I play support is going to play, the Thresh is going to be a contested pick. And for AOL, Sievert has been putting, at least in my aspect, in how I'm seeing it, he's been putting a lot of time in on Pantheon, which Pantheon can really steamroll quite hard. And so I do think that if they don't ban it, Sievert might be able to steamroll that advantage in. So I would hope that those two are both banned, if possible.
All right. Very fair. Moving down once again to you, Kopak.
Okay. Do we know if Riv 60 is still playing for AC for those demons?
I believe he still is playing indeed.
Okay. Um, after seeing a couple games of him playing that pick, I actually think it's gonna be the main way that Dota's Demons actually wins, if they have any way of winning against AOL. The last game I remember playing against it was pretty terrifying. I think in the way of AOL though, I wouldn't say it's necessarily one pick, but I think AOL needs to pick a carry top lane. We obviously seen the last time AOL and Dota Stevens played against each other, and when Sievert had like 10k gold over his opponent, literally 10k gold in how long was that game? Probably like 25, maybe 30 minutes. Like that's pretty nutty, and I think that man could probably easily 1v9 the game, the series against those demons.
All right. Very, very good stuff. I like it, Kopik. I like it. All right, Sobercry, how do you feel?
Highly contested pick. Do you know if both the junglers play Graves or not? Because I'm not really that familiar with these two teams, but I know that he's kind of been played in the BSGCS a lot, and like we might see him again.
Well, if you don't want the contested champion pick, which Graves not on the hot list for either of these teams, what do you think a must ban would be?
A must ban. I know that Lucian is really strong right now, and that he's for most ADCs in the CLO, like they like to play him, and I feel like that might be a ban.
All right,
Like I'd ban Lucian.
Lucian on the ban list. I hear you out loud. Uigui, you know exactly what's going to be picked and banned. Do you want to give us spoilers?
I would probably get yelled at if I do, but I can still answer the most contested. I'm gonna say the most contested pick is going to be Trundle. For the jungle role. I feel like it's just a strong jungler. And it's
Okay, very, very, very simple, very straight, very fair. Vasla, what do you think about this?
I was gonna say Trundle. Ooey Gooey's mean. He stole my pick. I was sad. That was gonna be a very hotly contested pick. Sonic Abs has been pretty much permabanned from him the entire series. PG Ice does play it as well, so I don't know which. AOL has the choice of sides. I don't know if they're gonna opt for red or blue side. Maybe hoping, or maybe red to get a last pick in and for one of their soul laners or something like that, maybe along the lines of Sievert. And Dota's Demons might take advantage of that, maybe first pick the Trundle away from Sonic and maybe able to play it. But other than that, I do know Swain will probably be a contested pick. It's a pretty easy champion to play, has a lot of lane priority. Sparky, I'm assuming, can play at mid lane. We've seen it bot lane for AOL. I'm sure Ooey Gooey can play Swain. It's pretty easy to hit E and Q occasionally and drool on yourself, so that's fine. And we did mention the Pantheon too, but I think a very big thing there is that like Sievert's been practicing it, and also Sonic Abs has been practicing it. I don't know if anybody else is practicing it on Dota's Demons, so I think that that'll probably be a must ban for the side of Dota's Demons to get rid of that flex.
Which pick?
Pantheon.
I think Pantheon's a bit of a spicy pick that I have indeed seen Sievert play every now and then. Do I actually think he'll play it against Dota's Demons? I mean, it's higher than him picking it versus OC Nation, but I don't exactly see it being picked in the Dota's Demons matchup, albeit could be an interesting ban. I think that if I'm the Dota's Demons, 100%, I gotta get the Jarvan the fourth away from Sonic Abs. He's put on great numbers in huge Cataclysm all seasons on the pick, and while I also would agree with the Trundle. If you're Dota's Demons, you have to ask how much do you want to target ban the jungler when Sievert has an ocean of champions up in the top lane. Smile has a very scary Swain that he can play bot. Nezumi has some solid supports in the list as well. It's a very interesting way I think teams are going to have to approach the draft against AWOL Phoenix, but I do think that Sonic is 100% worth all the bans that he will receive. Now, everyone, we get to the fun part on who do we think will win and how. Maybe even if you want to add in a little bit of the why. Is it going to be 2-0 for AOL? 2-1? Dota's Demons, can they take off a game? Or will Dota's Demons be able to make the upset of the century and beat the number one seed AOL Phoenix in either 2-1 or 2-0? Never know. We're going to start off once again with you, Gwaine.
I think the similar answer that everybody's going to have is that AOL will 2-0 Dota's Demons, and I don't think it's going to be a super close series, but you know what? If they surprise me, all the more power to them. I know that obviously they're practicing against one of the top teams in the league, So it'd probably be really important for them to try their hardest, get out there, show a good game, but it's going to be a real difficult opponent for them to overcome.
Okay. So we're putting our number on 2-0 for you, Gwen. Kopek, how do you feel?
I think it's gonna go something along the lines of if Dota's Demons are able to get a really good comp that works around them, it's gonna be something along the lines of the MF. They're gonna win the first game, and then AOL's gonna ban the MF, and Dota's Demons aren't gonna be sure what to do, and then they'll lose the preceding 2 games. I think that's how it's gonna go. So I'm gonna say 2-1 for AOL.
Okay, thinking the Doe's Demons will be able to take off a game. I like it. Soberquay.
You know what's gonna happen? AOL's gonna win the first game, and then the second game, Dota Dem's gonna get an upset, and the third game, AOL's gonna win because the AOL's just gonna win.
Okay, fair enough. 2-1 again. 2-2-1s coming in for Dota's Demons. We think these guys can actually win a game. Well, Ooey Gooey would know no better now, wouldn't he?
I'm gonna have to say a clean 2-0 from AOL. Um, having played against Dota's Demons on AOL, I could say we have clear strategy versus that team. So I'm gonna say 2-0.
All right, 2-0 indeed. I like that stuff. Very, very good. Voslav.
All right, I'm gonna hop right in here. I looked at the weather report because, frankly, I was afraid that maybe there might be a hurricane hitting Florida today. It seems that there's not. I'm absolutely sure that Dota's Demons is gonna get demoralized and get monstered today by the side of AOL. I absolutely believe that they will just 2-0 these games. I imagine Sievert will just put Virgil Fenham in a poisonous situation where he was just going to be bled dry, and will probably just be able to 1v9 the game if him and To Live and to Smile will get into a head position due to the vision game that Nozumi really likes to play, especially around Sonic apps.
Okay. Well, we got a couple 2-1s. We think the Doe's Demons can take off a game. Of course, I will 100% think the Doe's Demons don't stand a chance, and AOL Phoenix will be taking the 2-0 and scorching their way to the semifinals. Now, with that said, I was so confident this that I made a little bit of bet with the captain of Dota's Demons, saying that the match will be less than 53 minutes and 22 seconds, which was the quickest matchup in Season 2 quarterfinals. The loser will donate $25 to the Duo Esports Twitch channel. So, while we may think it will go 2-0, I will question my 2-0ers. Do we think that I will win or lose the bet? Gwaine, will the series be under 53 minutes?
I actually think it will be. That was a tough game between two opponents last time that they got 53. And I think that the skill difference here is going to be bigger, and so therefore I think that it's going to be faster. I don't know how much faster, but I do think that'll be less than 53 minutes, especially with how steamrolling the meta is now. The meta is opting for faster games anyway.
Okay. Ooey Gooey, am I winning or losing the bet?
If you're saying that you're gonna win before 53 minutes the whole entire series, I could see it happening. But that's saying we end every single game in 20 minutes or 15 minutes even. If it's a 2-0, or they end the game at 20 minutes, which isn't impossible in this meta. I say you have a strong chance of winning your bet.
Okay. As long as AOL don't troll. I've seen you guys take it a little bit longer than it has to sometimes, so quite literally, my fate is in your hands, Mr. Uiguya. But a person whose fate is not in my hands, Voslo, how do you feel? Am I winning or losing $25 today?
Smell that there, Shuno?
Yeah?
Do you hear that?
What?
I don't hear it. You know why? Because they're not doing their rain dance. I don't think that hurricane's coming. Dota Demon's gonna get smashed.
Alright, smash under 53 minutes. I love to hear the sound of that, along with the sound of $25 coming in the mail here. Very, very good stuff. So we've thoroughly discussed Doge Demons, AOL
Hey.
Phoenix, and
Hey, I got a comment here.
you do?
I do. Yes. So you've been wrong in a lot.
Wow.
You've been wrong in a lot of our predictions for my team. So I'm going to have to thoroughly return the favor It's that you sir are losing $25.
Oh my lord, I like it. I mean, I don't, but I do like it. All right, you are thinking that
What?
Dota Demons can take AOL Phoenix past the 53-minute marker in a series total length.
I definitely think there's a chance. I think there's a chance that you sir are going to lose $25.
Well,
Now, I'm not saying that those teams are going to win.
Okay.
That's a little bit more requiring of a rain dance, but yeah, I don't think you're winning $25 today.
Okay, I mean, fair enough, fair enough. I respect that. Indeed, 100%. I basically, if it goes to game 3, I'm doomed because there's no way that there are 3 games that somehow don't pass 50 minutes. It'll be really interesting to see how that ends up turning out, of course. But all in all, we have once again thoroughly discussed Dose Demons and AWOL Phoenix to the highest level of analysis. Now, we'll be moving on to our next topic. And no, it actually will not be the manifesto of not 1, not 2, but 3 quarterfinal matchups that will be happening on Sunday. Those of which are all very interesting, exclusive matchups we can dive into. But I'd rather look at the whole picture than just one matchup, one by one by one. Um, so, with that in mind, initially created in Season 1 of the Bronze Silver Gold Competitive Series on the spot and by yours truly, the percentages is what we will be doing next. It takes a look at the whole picture and discuss it with the panelists who they think will win it all and become the eSports Season 3 BSGCS champions. Panelists will give each of the 8 teams a percentage ranging from 0 to infinity. However, the numbers should be within good reason. If you feel the need to be generous and give each team a solid 50%, then by all means, spread your cards out on the table. If you want to give every team a 0%, then no one's stopping you, but Leslo just got banned. Let's be a little more generous.
It's a less lol, by the way.
Yeah, so let's lull, my bad. So with that said, we're going to start off once again with you, Gwaine. I'm going to start off at the top of the bracket. AOL Phoenix, what is their percentage that you're going to give them for becoming the Season 3 BSGCS champions?
It's kind of hard to do a scaling thing, so I'm going to say that they have, I'm going to say the third most likely chance. So I'm going to give them, I don't know, a 70% chance that they can win it all.
Okay, 70%. Very,
Is
very.
it like, are all of the accumulation, is all of the percentages supposed to add up to 100% or just
No,
like?
they're not.
Okay,
Go off the charts if you want to, my friend. That's what this is all about. 70% on the side of AOL Phoenix. What about ESG Genesis?
I don't think that they have that high. I'm going to say somewhere around 40, maybe 30.
Yikes.
All right.
Sorry, my dude.
40, 30%.
I'm not.
Okay.
I like how much you guys improved, but it's gonna be hard to beat them all. Beat all the haters, you know.
All right, all the haters, all the haterade. What about Conquer Academy?
I'm gonna give them an 80% chance.
Ooh, 80%. I like it. High numbers on the board. What are you going to give your own team, Havoc?
So I don't believe that negativity is ever the answer. So if you're on Dota Stevens, you got to believe 100% that you can beat AOL, and you got to just go, all right, our game is our game, and so we can beat them if we play our game. Which I think that's what they should always believe, regardless of if it comes true or not. So I'm gonna give myself 100% chance that we can get first.
Wow, nutty!
Whoa!
I didn't predict this to
Wow.
happen. No.
It's almost as if I didn't set that up for like a full 2 minutes, dude.
100%
you right.
chance. We are lucking legendary boys. 100% Havoc. Are your Season 3 BSG champions?
Yeah, you can give out
2020.
the award now, actually.
All right. Well, whew, I love it. That's the answer I want to hear. Dota's Demons. What about them?
They probably have wait. I'm gonna give them a 15% chance. It's gonna be hard to come out and after putting the team together so quickly, to try and beat them. Beat AOL is gonna be a tough one.
All right, that sounds very generous for what it's worth. How about Noin Nips?
I think that they have a higher chance than some of the other teams. So I'm gonna give them, I don't know, somewhere around 55-60% chance. I'm gonna downgrade that to probably 50% chance.
Okay, 50. All right, so half of the chance they might normally have. Very, very fair, at least in comparison to last season. OC Nation, how do we feel about this team?
I'm gonna give him the same percentage, maybe 55%.
Okay, 55% for OC Nation to win it all. And last but not least, Aether Esports. They're on an 11-1 in the last 12 games so far. Do you think they can carry the momentum into the playoffs?
I think that they are a really good team, so I'm gonna give them, I think, around a 70% chance that they can win.
70% for Aether Esports. So I could see your prediction for Aether Naughty Nips already. Very, very good stuff going. Very solid numbers, as I would expect out of my prime analyst himself.
Oh, of course.
Now we are going to hear some different results, possibly. Kopek, how do you feel about this? AOL Phoenix. We'll start with.
See, unlike the rest of the people on this panel, I'm actually going to have all my percentages add up to 100. So the numbers are obviously going to be low, but they're going to be all distributed around 100%.
You don't have to, but if you so
I
choose.
know I don't. This is hard mode. I'm playing Dark Souls right now. So
Ooh, all right. Are you using a
Alright, fair
dance pad?
hell yeah.
That's what I like. Let's go.
Alright. So yours is to add up to 100. AOL Phoenix, how high are they?
I think they're gonna. So if you divide, 100% 8 ways, you're gonna get 12.5%. And I'm gonna say they're definitely over that number. Probably, I think between AOL, OC Nation, and ESG, I think we each have a 20% chance out of 100 to win the whole thing.
Okay, so our distribution's down 20 for AOL, ESG, and OC Nation. Alright.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And
Let's
I
meet up
think
with Conquer Academy.
Conquer, I actually think they're pretty likely to win. I think I'll give them something along the lines. Yeah, I'll probably give them like a 25% chance to win. I think
Okay.
they're a little bit higher than us.
A little bit higher than everyone else, 25% for Conquer. What about Havoc?
Yeah, I think if obviously going back to that 12.5%, I'm definitely gonna say that they're gonna have to be lower than that number. Obviously, I'm just trying to do very like non specific numbers because I wouldn't be completely sure. But I definitely think that Havoc is under that number, but not very far under that number.
Okay. Fair enough. If you can't cook up a number right now, then we'll move on. But Dota's Demons, what do we give them?
Yeah, those Demons is definitely they would. I think they are the lowest likelihood team to win the whole thing. I will be honest, but it doesn't mean they don't. It is a 0% chance. Yeah, I'd give them honestly out of 100%. This is something like probably 10, or like 9%.
10 to 9. Okay, very, very, very spread out so far. No Neps, what about them?
I think while they're a solid team, it's kind of like one of those situations where all the teams below them, yeah, they'll stomp them easy. But when you're having to deal, as we've seen against the wait, what?
Yikes. I think we've all noticed it now. So continue with your great analysis.
All right. I just don't think they're gonna have as well of a time. I believe they're up against Aether.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and with the tear that kind of Aether's doing right now, I think it's gonna be hard. So yeah, they're probably at the 12.5% mark.
All right, 12.5 on that. Last but not least, A3 Esports.
All right. Well, I've already started to realize that none of this stuff's gonna add to 100, so we'll just end the game right here. We'll just make a new one. But I think they actually have a solid chance. I think they're probably the only team in Baron that's going to be able to potentially deal with Conqueror. And yeah, I think that in that series it's going to be really close.
Okay. All right. So
So
we're putting them above 12.5 for sure.
yes,
All right. Very positive above 12.5. Very, very hot answers coming out of you, Kopek. You actually came very close to getting 100 out of 100. But nonetheless, I'm going to go down to my next panelist. No, I'm not. I'm joking. I'm telling you, we're going to actually skip Super Quay. I want to go straight to my boy, Voslo. How do you feel?
Jokes on you. I don't know how to do math. So you know what? I'm just gonna go right for a believer in the season of ES3, and they're gonna get right all the way to the end. So I'm gonna put them at about like, I'm gonna say that they're gonna get there. They're gonna be like 70, 80%. They're gonna get right up
hell
there into the
yeah,
finals.
buddy.
They're gonna have to face ye old naughty nips. Cause you know what? Gotta get back them a title. Gotta do that. Gotta fight them for the title match. That's my opinion. Everybody else, zero. They don't have a chance, obviously.
Oh, wait. That is not an answer, good sir.
Yes, that is an answer.
That is a great answer. Leave me and my memes out of this. Um, I'm a believer in these memes. Obviously, it's got to
Hell
be
yeah.
the ES3 versus Naughty Nips. I mean, that's just the dream. I could also be, fucking insane. But oh, I'm gonna believe in that. I gotta believe in my team. Gotta believe in ES3. Obviously, there's gonna be some wire snipping going around from the side of Fridge, so maybe nobody will see it on stream. It'll be great. Nobody, and then we'll never speak of the outcome of the game. It'll be great.
That sounds wonderful. All right, but let's touch on AOL Phoenix. Dominant 16-3 performance. What number are you going to give them if ESG have 70 to 80? Mr. Vostelo?
What was that? I missed that.
Okay, yeah, because that was
I'm super
but
deaf.
AOL Phoenix. What
Mhm.
number do you give them?
Oh, I'm gonna give them 50%. I think that they have a decent chance actually into most of the teams. I think ESG can upset them. I honestly think that.
Hmm.
I think ESG actually does win the matchup, and I'm pretty excited to see what'll happen because I think as much as Sievert will be a unrelenting force in the top lane, Fridge will be the body and the sandbag that they will throw in the floodgates that will stop AOL's ability to just run them over because Fridge will just be like this super tank that'll become this team fighting mastermind.
All right, I love it. What about
Uh-huh.
Conquer Academy?
Conquer Academy has about I'm gonna give them about the same chance as AOL. I think that they're a great team. They honestly perform quite well around each other. They've gotten really good in adapting to this meta. They have a good style of play. I think. I think some of their picks are interesting, but it works out for them just because they have better laners and they're able to collapse very easily with their team. So I'm gonna give them about 50%.
Okay, okay. Let's move down to Havoc. What do we think of this team? You've given AOL and Conquer very much teams I would be putting in the finals right now. 50% firm believer of ES3. Where do you put Havoc?
I'm gonna put about 15.
Ooh.
15. I think what Havoc excels in is they have a very good laning phase. 80 carrying Gawain, his laning phase, fantastic. I think he gets greedy as the game gets he gets greedy as the game goes on, and sometimes costs them map pressure and also the ability to catch him out. And that's something that I think Conqueror can recognize. So I think they have a chance to take a game off of Conqueror, but I can't see them winning the series. So I'm gonna give him 15.
Okay, okay. Dota's Demons.
Yikes from me, Dad. As I said before, I don't see any hurricanes on the weather report. I looked it up actually. It felt pretty good. So I'm gonna have to give him like a 2,
2. Alright, well,
like
that's one of
like
the
a
lowest
2.
numbers we have seen so far, but I still respect it 100%. Well, what with 100% actually? Next on the list is Noinaps. How are we
Uh-huh.
feeling about their chances?
All right. Obviously, said it before. Gotta get there. Anybody see my interview? I gotta get the third nipple. 300%. Obviously,
Okay.
fantastic.
Wait, did I just hear 300%? Wait
Yeah,
a second. Oh
I'm good at
my.
math.
Alright, 30k%. Wowzers, ladies and gentlemen. Noinaps are going to be the Season 2 and Season 3 champions. But where do our boys OC Nation and Aether Esports lie?
I'm gonna give him the old I'm gonna give him the yield 10%.
For both?
For Aether, and you said 2. I've only
OC
heard Aether. I
Nation.
apologize. Oh, and
OC
OC Nation. I think OC Nation has about 25-30% chance. I think if they could overthrow the gods of ESG, they have a potential to upset. But I don't think that they can unplug the appliance.
Oh my lord, goodness gracious. I absolutely adore these numbers out of you, Vossel. They are indeed something of wonder and of a completely different planet. Um, let's move back to you, Soberquay. So we have some numbers on the board, some teams as well. And actually, we're going to go in reverse order this time. Starting off with your own team, A3 Sports. How great of a chance do they stand to become the Season 3 Bronze Silver Gold Competitive Series champions?
Yeah, like an 80% out of 100, I feel. Because looking at this like match by match basis, assuming I think we can beat Naughty Nips, and then assuming either Conqueror or Havoc wins, I think we can beat either of them as well. I think the real challenge comes in the finals where we either have to face AOL Phoenix or, the lot.
Okay, all right. A solid 80% for A3 Sports. Very high hopes for your team. What about OC Nation?
OC Nation, I gave them a 67 to make it. I believe when if they get through ES3, then the next assuming AO wins, they'd have to beat them, and I can give them a fighting chance, but that's why it's 67, not like an 80.
Okay, okay. A very generous number once again for this team. Naughty Neps, your opponent just gave out 30k percent and gave you guys only 10%. What are you going to give them?
Well, I'm gonna give them a negative 300% to
Oh my.
counteract Baslo.
All
It's
right.
all right. I can't count. It's fine.
All right. Effective counter indeed. What about Dota's Demons?
Dota's Demons, I'm giving them a 20% chance to get it all the way because it's gonna be hard for them to get past AWOL Phoenix and then either OC or ESG just to
Okay,
get to the
okay.
finals.
Very, very generous to a team that I don't think will be making it very far. But Havoc.
Havoc, I'm gonna give them a 50% chance. I think it's a coin flip on if they'll be Conqueror, and I think that if we lose or if Naya Nips wins, I think they can get to the finals. Another 50% chance.
All right, 50-50. Moving up while we're at it with Conqueror. Give us your thoughts.
It's another 50-50. If you didn't see what
Uh-huh.
I'm doing, it's each match gonna add up to 100.
Okay, okay. ES3 Genesis themselves,
It's a 43% chance to ESG. Yeah,
43%. Okay,
yep.
very, very fair. And now the dominant AOL Phoenix.
AOL Phoenix, they also get an 80% chance. I really do think that AOL can drown out the competition and make it to the finals.
All right, very, very nice stuff out of you, Sober Quay. Giving high hopes to A3 Sports and AOL Phoenix. But while we are at it with AOL Phoenix, Mr. Brown, you've been patiently sitting here, you're listening to everyone else give their absolutely off the charts numbers. What do you have for us going back up top to AOL Phoenix, your own team?
All right. Well, I'm actually gonna make this really short. This might seem really toxic as well, but I'm only gonna be rating two teams. I'm gonna say 50-50 between AOL and Conqueror. The rest have 0% chance.
Oh my god, this man is absolutely savage. Woo! So, 100% in your books, that means that there is an AOL Phoenix versus Conquer Academy Grand Finals,
100%. Yeah.
and there is no other teams that you'll be seeing in the finals at all.
Nope. No other team.
No other team. Oh my god, you've just given. Whew! Well, I mean, now I know how confident the side of AOL Phoenix is, to put it one way. Every team other than Conquer is zero. I don't know if I don't even know how to feel if I'm on the side of Conquer, if that's. Goodness, that is absolutely ridiculous stuff to come out of you. Hopefully, the performance is able to square it up because that will be absolutely massive letdown if AO Phoenix somehow don't make it in the finals. As for myself and what I would also be mentioning on the board, whew, yikes, 0%. Well, we had Vosslo earlier that didn't want to do math and just gave out wild numbers. We had Kopek that did want to do math, and you had you that just put down 2 answers on the paper, and that was it. And laughed.
But
and
his
clapped.
at least equals 100.
It
Well, yeah,
does.
it did, but I mean, you just put. My lord. All right, I love it either way. Very, very. Yikes. Whew. As for my own predictions, what do I think of AWOL Phoenix #1 dominant team? 16-3, best record in the entire league. I'm going to put them at a solid 90%. I think that they are absolutely going to be seen in the grand finals. I can see them absolutely winning it as well. Instead of ESG Genesis, I know I'm with an ESG player here that I very much do think deserved his all-star position. But first match of OC Nation, it's gonna be a rough one. If they can make it past it, they would be facing AOL Phoenix in semifinals. Gonna give them a fair 60, a very very fair 60. And I actually scratch that. We're putting down a 50. That's too fair for ESG. Anything can happen, but ESG is going to reign 50% for myself. Conquer Academy. Uh, let's also give these boys 80%. I could see AOL Phoenix winning the whole thing, but as I could for Conquer. Havoc. Gwaine, what do you think I'm going to put?
I have no idea.
You
You've
have
been a wild card
absolute.
for your predictions the entire season.
I've been a. Oh, okay. Fair enough, even though I have a better total record than you, but you did beat me when you're here, so
A
fair enough.
better total record than me. Okay. Does the entire season.
Yeah. Make sure he's on vacation.
Let's do it by percentage then.
Yeah. 30%. I'd say Havoc. Unlikely, but I mean, better than some other teams like Dota Demons, who I will give a very frank 0% to. Even if AOL Phoenix turn over their computers or get hit by an unseen hurricane, then they still face either ESG or OC Nation in semis, and I just don't see that happening at all. So Dota Demons, it'll be the quarterfinals, and that's it for them. Now, Noni Nips, they've looked great. In fact, I think this is very much a wild card team where they're hard to put, really hard to actually decide what they're going to do, as I think Noni Nips Aether is such a close matchup. I will give them a fair 55. I could see them making it past the quarters, but I don't know how to put them in semis. Um, Walking in for OC Nation, I think this team hasn't gotten enough love, and I think that they deserve the love. So I want to put my boys OC Nation, the great 85%, second highest on my list here, because I do think they're a solid team. They know how to come back, and while everyone else hasn't given the most generous numbers to them so far, I do think that they're a very good team. That if there were an alternate for Conquer AOL in the finals, it would definitely be Conquer OC, I think. And last but not least, A3 Sports. Um, Once again, very hard matchup to actually say. And while it is very much spreading the brush rather widely, I'm going to put them at a 50%. Really hard to say where this team will line up after the Noya Neps matchup. I think if they can beat Noya Neps, they stand a fair chance of beating Conqueror, but the first step is Noya Neps. Now, with that down, we've went through our percentages. We've went through every single team, what we think of them, all of that. Does anyone in particular, with a solid 13 minutes left before the matchup, have any last comments, topics, or anything else they would wish to bring up? Any messages you wish to pass to your quarterfinal opponents before you move on and beat or either get beaten by them on the raft?
I got one.
Okay, we gooey, hit me with that.
My one message to all the people we will be facing is good luck and have fun in the matches.
Okay, very, very fair.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Very. Yep, I agree with that sentiment 100%. Kopek, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I think I gotta give a shout out to the ES3 fans. There are definitely there are dozens of us, and we'll try to make you guys proud, and we'll definitely try to put our hearts and minds out on the rift. So
Okay, very, very fair. Gwaine, anything you have to say to Will the Havoc doubters?
Um, I mean, they just haven't seen it yet, you know.
Haven't
So
seen it yet? Okay, well, hopefully in a matchup against whichever you face in quarterfinals for Conqueror, you see the Havoc that wrecks Havoc on the Rift or wrecks Havoc on themselves. You will be the decider of that. So, Require, anything for yourself in A3 Sports?
Anything for myself in A3 Esports? I don't care what you think, Chuno, so I'm gonna stick with my AD negative 300%.
All right, 300% A3 Sports are winning it all. And last but not least, Voslo. This man just hit you with 300. What are you gonna do?
I mean, I'm not even gonna like look at it because I mean, I'm not even looking at that team, so it's fine. So I don't even care. At that point, it'll be fine. I pretty much, I just want to give a shout out all the players and everybody in the league. Done a great job so far. I really, really like the entire system and all the fun stuff, and I like the games. It's been great fun, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And I'm really looking forward to all the games. Have a great time. Also, said I'd shout out my boy Wah, who was asking for his name to be heard, the king of the Haitians himself. And you know what? Here you go, Wah. That one's for you.
All right, giving some love out to a brother from another mother. Very, very beautiful stuff. And that is actually going to conclude everything that we've possibly been able to go through and everyone's thoughts on the live dive. Thank you to Voslo, a Sobrique, Gwaine, Kopik, and Uigui for making their appearance and voices heard on the live dive here. We have just about a solid 10 minutes left before Dota's Demons versus AWOL Phoenix will be on the table, and our predictions and our percentages will be matched and put to the test, as will the teams.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Just remember, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
All right, and we will be seeing you with the answer to that question, well, couple minutes.
Yellow. Copy.
I feel like I've fought all my life for this. This one part, this one third, I've always missed. No, just don't let it go. I started the fight, but now I'm losing. So will I fall again? I'm scared of heights, yet it was me who ran away.
Hello everyone and welcome to the BSGCS playoffs. We're now in Champ Select for our first quarterfinal matchup between the first seed AOL Phoenix and fourth seed Dota's Demons. I'm Manwalrus and with me here are Lucius Best and Kopek, and we're going to be getting into Champ Select, well, right now. But before we do, who do you guys think is going to come out on top in the series? Because both these teams just played each other not so long ago, and things didn't go so well for Dota's Demons.
I like a good upset, and I like Dota Demons, so I'm rooting for Dota Demons here. You know, you gotta like the underdogs.
Yeah, concerning about that recent match between these two teams, it was definitely one-sided. And I'm thinking that there might be a chance that those Demons is able to take a game off of AOL, but I am very skeptical of their chances of actually being able to win this series. But right now we have an Alistair ban, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure if anyone else can provide a bit more insight, even though I myself am the expert here.
I play support, plays plenty of that, so they're probably just trying to look for getting rid of big and engaged champs, I would assume.
Yeah, he at least has 31 games on it, and the rank in solo queue he has a 58% win rate, which is pretty decent, pretty good, decent KDA. So I can see a solid ban from that.
Yeah, and this Ezreal ban out of AOL, I think it's not bad, especially if AOL is wanting to win the bot lane. You don't want to give those Demons a pick that's very safe, very hard to gank. And then on the side of those Demons, I think the Darius ban is solid, as seeing that Seabird is definitely, yeah, and especially that Gangplank showing that 10k gold lead in their last matchup there, or I believe, or no, it wasn't that last matchup where
it was a 20k gold lead, but there was a 10k gold difference between Fergal Venom and Sievert. Sievert was up 10k gold against him.
Yeah.
Seaver definitely one of the most aggressive top laners in the league, so I can see why that Darius ban was picked up, towards him.
Yeah, and I think those Demons are even getting a decent. I think their draft right now picked up 2 solid picks. They're both champion, Thresh and the Trundle, that both the jungler and the support are very comfortable on. But we have the Vladimir and the Rakan. I feel like it's gonna be hard for that Thresh to do anything. Yeah, especially allowing AOL to get the Zai Rakan there. I think it's gonna be pretty yikes for the bot lane.
Yeah, what I'm wondering right now though is if Dota's Demons are going to pick up a top laner, because right after their really bad game against AOL, they played a second game where Fergal Venom was on Ornn, and he looked a lot better. So if AOL Phoenix have taken that into account, now that they haven't picked a top laner, they might consider banning some top laners away, particularly Ornn, to try and get Sievert a better matchup.
I think Seaver might actually go into this Vladimir in the top lane.
Uigui's been known to play it as well, so yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we haven't seen actually Vladimir on the top side for quite a long time. My estimation would be it would be in the mid lane, more so than the top lane.
Yeah, let's see how they flex this pick.
Yeah. But with the Kai'Sa pick on the Those Demon side, I feel like that while Zyra Khan's gonna have a pretty strong lane, I think if the Thresh and the Kai'Sa can look to just use their abilities more defensively, they should be able to get out of lane phase just fine. With the Jarvan and the Pantheon bans, those are kind of... Well, I know Sonic Abs plays quite a bit of Jarvan, and I think some of the other fellow members on the Tower Dive were saying that Pantheon was a pick that Sonic Abs is also playing up early.
Yeah, he's been playing some Pantheon jungle recently.
Yeah. And the Ornn ban on the AOL side, Ornn and Shen, yeah, those are the 2 tanks that I think Fergal's been playing most of the time.
And as expected, they go for his champ pool. He's going to lock in the Gnar, and now they have the potential to counterpick top lane. They could still flex the Vlad up there, but I don't expect they will. We'll see what they choose to take against it, as well as what they end up picking for their jungler.
As my fellow casters expected, they did ban the orange. So like, what else y'all think they might pick up next?
Hmm.
Oh, Wukong is unique.
If
Yeah,
you're
I
gonna play,
think-
you gotta go big, gotta go hard.
Wait, I think it's Wukong in the jungle.
Oh, so yeah, I've seen Jungle Wukong particularly. It's mostly seen nowadays, like mid lane a lot of the time, but jungle it's still very strong. The only problem is that it doesn't clear very well early, like against someone like Trundle. Trundle's clear speed's way faster, but Wukong jungle has the same burst potential as Wukong mid if it gets rolling.
Yeah, I feel like with this whole jungle matchup, I feel like Trundle should be able to roll over the Wukong, unless the Wukong is able to find a very, very early lead. Like if the Trundle gets caught out or something. But we have the Orianna picked for Doa's Demon side, and we have the Vladimir now showing itself to be in the mid lane. I feel, to my understanding of matchup, obviously Ori has essentially no real bad matchups. If played correctly, I feel like this Orianna should be able to zone off Vladimir, but I think that'll only work for so long. I feel like Vladimir's sustain is still very good, and if played correctly, obviously, I feel like Vladimir could definitely one shot the Orianna.
Mm.
For sure. So who's oh, okay, we have a dodge. We'll be right back. We'll see what's going on with this dodge. All right, so what I'm getting from the teams, apparently there's a client bug. So Sonic Abs DM'd me saying that the Blue DC'd, so we'll try and sort that out and get back into Champ Select as soon as possible. I would imagine it's same picks and bans.
Yeah.
So I guess while we're waiting, I have the bracket up on screen.
Right.
Who do you think, I guess judging off those team comps, because we've seen both of them, who do you think is going to come out on top in this first game?
You know what? I actually think both comps are actually pretty even. Obviously the Kled engage is going to be very strong with the Wukong because you're just gonna see that Wukong flying a million miles an hour, and then he's gonna press his clone, and then he's gonna be flying a million miles an hour while invisible, and still having his Nimbus strike and his ultimate being able to be used, and that's gonna be some pretty tough pretty tough engage deal with. But on the side of those demons, I think as long as that Kaisa can survive, I think she'll be able to deal with the kind of engage that's going to be thrown at her. Mainly because the front line out of AOL is definitely a little bit on the squishier side. Not to say that they aren't tanky, but they aren't the kind of hyper tanks like you would see out of something like a Braum or an Ornn. They're not going to be that inherently tanky, but obviously for what they lack in the tank, they obviously have a ton of engage. And I feel like those demons is just gonna have probably gonna have a hard time trying to figure out ways to exactly deal with that. And I feel like both these teams just look to try and 5v5 and play front to back. Well, actually, I feel like AOL has to not play front to back, but if those demons can force the AOL's front line to play front to back, I feel like this game is going to quite a lot more come down towards execution, less so than the draft itself.
Yep, and obviously back in Champ Select now. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to run through the same picks and bans again. But I guess in the meantime, we can talk about I guess, why the teams picked what they picked. Like, my theory, because AOL Phoenix just stomped this matchup so hard in the regular season and so recently, just last week, I think the reason that they didn't get anything really safe and tanky and instead went to go with like all this damage and like, laning champions that are supposed to do really, really well in lane. I guess they're very confident that they can just outright win these lanes, that they're just the better players in the matchups, basically. Would you guys agree?
I would agree with that. Yeah, I think I think drafting to that kind of perspective is definitely something that will give AOL a way better opportunity to win this game. But obviously, that doesn't leave it to give those teams a 0% chance of winning this game. I just think a lot of this game is going to come down to execution.
Yeah, I totally agree. AOL definitely tends to win most of their lanes. They got that confidence in them. That's pretty much what they want to do. They want to win out strong. They want to pick early game champs, and they want to end this by the 25-minute mark. In most of their games too. That's where they get most of the wins from this season.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, but what do you think the biggest on the side of Dota's Demons? What do you think, or for AOL, I mean, sorry, what is their biggest worry? Like, what champion on the Dota's Demons team comp is the biggest problem for their team? Like, what could stifle their attempts to win all these lanes early on?
I would. Oh, are you saying in general or more so just in the lanes?
I mean, just in general, what are the problem champions on the side of Dota's Demons?
I would say 100% Kaisa. If they don't, if Ori's allowed to land a good shockwave on their primary engage, and no one's really able to kill Kaisa early enough in the team fight, I feel like she is just going to be able to cream through the front line, and then just being able to look to do the things that Kaisa's like to do and be able to 1v9 fairly effectively. I think other than the Kaisa, I think the Trundle early on, if this guy's a good Trundle, is able to not only clear fast but look to play really aggressive on this Wukong, then I feel like the Trundle might be able to keep the Wukong pretty sated and not be able to be as effective as he could be if the Wukong was snowballing.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that one. You gotta watch out for the Kaisa, but you also gotta watch out for Sparky since he is an emergency sub. But they have been playing recently for the past week or two, I believe. And you don't know what you can come out of him. You don't know what you can expect. So actually, you should watch out for his Orianna pick. This could be a really strong pick in the for Dota Demons, and he could be the key for them winning this game.
Yeah. So right now, though, interestingly enough, he's running exhaust mid lane against this team. What do you guys think of that choice as opposed to a combat summoner spell? Obviously, he could still change it in the next 20 seconds, but what do you think?
I haven't been the biggest proprietor of exhaust in the mid lane, mainly because a lot of the times where you'd want to pick it would be against champions that have a lot of dashes, still a lot of ability to move around, even though they'd be affected by the slow. I actually think in this situation, since Vladimir doesn't really have any sort of reasonable dashes, other than maybe if he was to get Proto Belt. Other than that, yeah, he'd be pretty immobile, and having that exhaust to kind of reduce his overall burst is actually not bad. I definitely don't think that, I think a lot of it comes down to how you play Orianna and how you look to play the game. I think there could be some Oriannas that would definitely look to pick Ignite here and look to just play hyper aggressive into this Vlad, who would be definitely have a hard time in the first couple levels. And just kind of deny him any ability to be relevant in the game. Though on the other hand, I feel like as shown by the exhaust, I feel like the thing with exhaust is that it's not necessarily a defensive summoner. It's like this weird kind of quasi combat summoner where it's a summoner that doesn't necessarily give you damage, but more just denies damage from the opponent. And in certain situations, especially when probably against a front-loaded damage champion like Vlad, I think it could be proved particularly useful. But once it gets out of lane, I feel like the exhaust is going to be a little bit less effective, mainly because it's going to be hard to use exhaust on the Wukong before he gets into melee range of you. It's going to be hard on using it on the Kled before he gets into melee of you. And I feel like Dota's Demons is going to have a hard time ever going to be using that exhaust on Xayah. So I think it's a decent lane. It's a decent lane to early mid game summoner. But other than that, I feel like it's relatively lackluster as to other options you can have.
No, I just think Oriana took the exhaust to probably slow down the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Dota Demons did the research on AOL. They know that they want to get ahead real fast, and pretty sure Dota Demons want to take this game to team fight situations rather than lose lanes early. And when they get into team fights, maybe Orange might use that exhaust and maybe Wukong, Vladimir, Xayah, or whoever the carry might be, and say given time, and that's gonna be able for them to use their combo, say with the Oriana ulti, get Kai'Sa going in the back line with the Nara ulti, for a good team fight. So definitely Dota Demons might be looking towards the team fight area of this game, and I think that's where the exhaust might be coming in.
Yeah. So my only thing to say about the exhaust thing is that in theory, on paper, it is very good against Wukong, but the problem is right now that Wukong, he's in a state where with the right items, and if he's ahead, if he his burst combo on you happens so fast that it requires like pretty quick reactions to get that exhaust down before he gets to you. Because now like the main chunk of his burst, he doesn't even need to wait for his ult. It's honestly just E auto Q is like enough to just one shot people. So that's my one worry. Obviously, we were talking about how it comes down to execution earlier on, so that ties into that.
That's for sure.
Yo, let's get
Yeah, I
ready
think
for this playoffs, man. I'm excited. Ready for this joint, man. First game, first playoff game of the season. Ready for this.
yeah, this is definitely looking pretty even in the draft. Obviously, the different teams have different ways of kind of figuring out how exactly their win conditions are. I think a lot of this is going to come down to exactly how these teams play it out. I think it's always a good way to watch League of Legends. I feel like sometimes watching games decide from champion select is kind of rough. But it definitely has appeared that both of these teams have done some relative research both into their opponents and exactly what they're trying to do in their own sort of minds and game plans. So it'll definitely be very interesting and very fun to watch these two teams played out.
So, from the public standpoint, everybody thinks this AOL the favorites to win this one. Pretty much to win the whole Elder Division, go to the finals. So, I'm kind of curious to see if Dota Demons is going to give them a run for nothing. But I'm actually hoping Dota Demons might win because I'm always an underdog player. I root for myself because I'm like somewhat of an underdog, and I just want to see how this one plays out. You guys believe AOL's gonna win this, right?
I mean,
On the votes.
I would want to vote. I would want to root for Dota's Demons if they hadn't just played versus AOL Phoenix and gotten completely dismantled in 20 minutes. The 20k gold lead is one of the biggest I've ever like personally seen in a game. So while I would like to root for the underdogs in this matchup, I just don't really see it happening because the last game was so recent and it was so one-sided.
Yeah, and even going through my head exactly how
Yeah, I've hit that air too. We'll be right back. Hopefully, actually. Oh, this could be bad. It's not even letting me reconnect to the
let's see.
thing. Shit.
Yeah, it's because nobody has friends on AOL.
Oh, I do. No.
Here, before you reconnect to the game, then will you add us both so we can then spectate you spectating them?
All right, cool. I got you. Give
Awesome.
me a second. I actually just clicked reconnect without y'all saying that for me before you said that. So I just do that real quick.
Yeah, we'll be right back with you guys on stream. Unfortunately, this happens too often now. Thank you, Riot Games.
Spaghetti code.
what they doing up there in Riot? That's the real question.
Did I, Lucius? Did I add you?
I got one. I got from Kopek, which is one of my boy Walrus right here.
There we go.
I
I think it's just from watching in a custom. I think I've only had that issue trying to watch a game in a custom, being the spectator.
You think so?
Yeah, I haven't had that issue spectating a game from a friends list. So,
We should try that theory out next time around.
yeah, hopefully this game isn't too far along.
Yeah, we shouldn't be too
Yeah.
far behind them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, we're not that far behind. Let's see if anyone has any interesting rune choices. Oh, actually, there's one already. PTA out of Zaya. Now the one thing that I've known is that at least a lot of the pros have been going lethal tempo right now instead of PTA, mainly because she's not necessarily looking to do damage to one target, but rather just get as much attack speed as she can so you can lay down her feathers and just look to hit everyone with a huge massive blade collar. But I can understand why someone would go PTA. Mainly for its solid damage amp.
I guess they're maybe trying to cut through Gnar and Trundle later on. I guess maybe that's the goal of the press the attack as opposed to lethal tempo.
Did you guys are connected?
Yep.
I'm close. I'm not quite in the game yet. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, not much is really happening.
Oh, we got
you
an
know,
invade though. On the top side of the map.
Trundle looking to invaded Wukong's blue. Wukong not actually being able to notice that Trundle went to his blue. So this is going to be an interesting altercation as both the junglers start to realize.
Oh, Wukong's coming in close to them though.
And Trundle was able to steal out the blue.
Wow.
I think he should be able to get out of this pretty easily. Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty unfortunate for the Wukong. And that's definitely something, kids at home, that you need to path towards your blue if you're going for that topside scuttle.
Oh my god. Alright, I just got the same bug again. I'm gonna have to try and reconnect again.
Yikes.
Alright, but just do some radio casting, that's what I'm talking
about.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You guys are gonna have to be extra descriptive. Will I try and reconnect again?
Yeah, so Wukong has now opted to go for the other scuttle. Has not cleared any of his minor camps or non-buff camps other than blue.
I actually thought he was like rotating down bot to go take the Trundle's blue side.
Yeah, I think that might not be bad, but it's just kind of it'd be hard to vertical jungle that way.
Yeah, he just wants to just take both scuttle crabs.
Yeah, and that's not bad.
All right, I'm in here.
Obviously gives you vision. All right.
We timed out good. We all 335 right now.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other rune choice I was kind of interested in is I don't know what roles you guys play, but the Aerie on Rakan. Now I have heard arguments that you should be going Guardian. Some people say Aerie's the best choice. I'm not sure what your guys' thoughts on that particular rune choice is as well.
So there's actually trading happening top lane, but not much is actually going to happen besides the Kled dismount. I believe that Aerie Rakan right now is better because of the insane damage you get and poke, basically, from having the Scorch plus Aerie on your Q. Is just pretty outrageous. Sievert's actually playing with fire right now.
Oh yeah. Surprisingly, Sievert in this lane, he has the disadvantage. Let's see what happens going on towards the late game.
Yeah. Actually, I think the note actually already right now is that Blue Edit already has a 10 CS lead over the Kai'Sa. So I'm not sure if that's necessarily because of them playing aggressive or just Kaisa being bad at CSing.
And Nazumi's going in looking for it. There's a double root collar and an instant pop for the first blood. There's the Zyra Khan early damage just coming out.
Yeah, and I play support, not respecting the very easy all-in potential out of the lovers duo.
Like I said, AOL trying to play it hard, trying to play it fast, want to win their lanes, and they want to end this by the 25-minute mark. That's where they're really comfortable in.
Right. So, what do you think of this top lane matchup? We thought that Sievert was gonna take control of this pretty securely, but he actually got forced to back and TP out. So now there's a TP advantage for Dota's Demons. As actually he's going all in right now. He does get pulled back by the Kled. It looks like he's going to have to at least blow Flash if he wants to survive this, although the Kled is taking minion aggro and dismounts. Venom plays it cool and gets out alive, although there's actually trouble in the mid lane now as Uigui has to pool. There is a shockwave but no mana. He does turn around with the ultimate from Vlad. He flashes forward, he ignites. Sievert probably will not go down from this. That is actually a death going over. It does kill Sparky, though. PG Ice looking to trade back. He gets smited down by Sonic Abs. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Venom solo kills Sievert.
Wow.
I didn't even see what happened up there. Although I play supports looking for Uigui. Alright, never mind. Should be okay. What?
Yeah, and all of our predictions for this, well, not all of our predictions, but sort of exactly where those teams could potentially try to get advantages aren't where they're getting advantages, and where we thought they wouldn't be able to get advantages is where they're getting advantages. Which this has definitely been a little bit interesting. It's kind of showing Fergal's proficiency on this Gnar pick and showing exactly how strong of a blind pick Gnar can be.
So I actually went back up there to see how Venom was able to get the kill on Sievert. Misses ulti, but he was able to get the kill because of Airy with a good WQ combo with a last auto attack. So pretty decent solo kill up there for him.
Yeah, and that mid lane scuffle there was definitely pretty unfortunate. Orion, them going in without Orion having the sufficient mana to actually deal with the Vladimir is definitely raises some question mark pings, at least on my side, and definitely some question mark pings for the jungler who thought that was a good idea, but obviously we can't tell what was exactly going on in the comms, so I think a lot of it is pretty up in the air.
Yeah, although right now Venom is going in on Sievert, and Sievert is about to get dismounted again. He actually doesn't. Venom walks out before it can happen.
Very good trades here by Venom. Playing against one of the all-stars in the L division.
Yeah, I actually think it's better for Fergal to not dismount Kled. Mainly because it's harder for Kled to be able to get the health from the mount while he's mounted than for him to just get the bar up so that he gets Scarl back, if that makes sense.
Actually made him recall again. It's like the really early recall once again here in the top lane.
Yeah, so it's looking so far like Gnar is the champion for Dota's Demons to deal with Sievert, at least on this Kled. Although actually he's charging in top lane now. They're looking for the Wukong gank onto him, but Venom is just going to walk away. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, I play support, flashes in onto the Xayah. He's going to jump up in the air and get a nice ult double root onto the Trundle and the Thresh. That is a kill for Nazumi. Riv 60 pops the Kaisa ult, goes back, he's looking for it. Nazumi flashes out, they're going to get him, but it's not going to matter because Bluett's going to clean it up. That is a 3-for-1. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Sievert gets gnarred into the wall, though, by Venom. This is going to be close. He dismounts. Venom is just going to hop away and throw the Q back.
Yeah, it was a series of pretty unfortunate events for both teams to some extent. With the 3-to-1 fight down the bot lane, especially with that jungle gank, is pretty unfortunate and pretty bad for those demons in this situation. And then missing the Kled ult though is obviously gives those teams a huge time window where Kled has no ability to really engage on them. So it'll be interesting to see how exactly both these teams play it out. Especially as they weren't able to get the tower bot side, so that's pretty good.
Very true. That was a hard lane for them to gank. It looked like a pretty good gank going for Dota Demons, but Looted with a nice ulti, Nesm with a nice ulti, and they would get so much damage down to PG Ice, and he just like exploded with the ignite there too.
Yeah.
No, obviously, you can't forget about missing hooks, missing flays.
Oh,
if
yeah.
those things land, obviously, it could definitely change the outcome of the gank.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It definitely would have probably gotten a lot smoother for him, but they definitely got the disadvantage in that one since it was a 3-for-1.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
far, AOL got a nice lead. Like they're on track to what they want to do here in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing to keep in mind, though, is that right now it's only a 1k gold lead.
Yeah, the Zumi's looking for more. They're just going to burst down I Play support. That's not even going to be close. Can Riv 60 get away? He does still have the heal. He pops the Kaisa ult, though, so he doesn't have to use it. Meanwhile, now Sievert and Fergal Venom trading once again. He's going to get hit by the hook, but it's not going to do much of anything. Just going to walk away.
Yeah, I think AOL's bot lane is definitely showing the strength of the Zybertron. And now with Zaya having the one-item power spike of Stormrazor, yeah, things are looking pretty yikes for the
Fergal Venom is just turning around on the Sievert. He's got the hop, he's got the Mega Gnar. He's probably just going to kill Sievert unless he can miraculously remount, but no, the Flash Gnar ultimate from Fergal Venom gets it. He might be able to make it out of this alive. Actually, no, he has no Flash. The Wukong ult's going to knock him up and take him down. Meanwhile, Uigui and Sparky trading in the mid lane. No Shockwave used so far from Sparky, so still that threat. Meanwhile, Nozumi is behind enemy lines. He's just going to get hooked and shut down. Though there's more trading in the mid lane as Uigui will get the kill on the Sparky. Bluet, meanwhile, still fighting, forced to burn his ult, but he's 1 versus 2, and he's going to get taken down. AOL overstep.
Yeah, that was definitely a huge overextension out of the side of AOL. I definitely think that if they, after getting that first turret, they should just reset. They're already really, really, really ahead of this Kaisa Thresh bot lane, and I don't think they needed to put the risk of them trying to push the lead even more by doing exactly what they did. And now, obviously, with Kaisa getting a couple kills there, it definitely brings her closer back into the game than where she was before. And then top side, yeah, it definitely. Gnar's going to be able to have so much priority in the side lane now that I don't even think those teams necessarily has to rely on the 5v5 team fight. If they just let Gnar split push now, he should be able to just beat Kled most of the time.
Yep.
And then he could just look to get objectives that way, and then not allow the Zyra Khan to be able to totally do anything. But meanwhile,
here comes the charge here. AOL are looking for the aggressive dive, and Sparky just gets destroyed. That was fearless from AOL.
Oh, rough first game for Sparky right now.
Speaking of fearless, though, maybe a little too fearless as Bluet gets hooked. He's going to be able to kite it out, though, and the damage turns around from AOL Phoenix. They actually just get 2 more. This is going to be 2 towers now.
Yeah, but this Kaisa might be. Oh, she's alright. Anyways, I think right now I don't even think there's a reason for AOL to feel any sort of fear, especially at that one dive. Gnar was topside. It was pretty solid guesses that the rest of the team had backed, and that was a pretty decently executed dive, and it definitely also an overstay from the side of Dota's Demons. I don't think they had any sort of reason to stay for that tier 1. Maybe for the tier 2 if everyone was there, but you know, as there obviously has to be better communication on exactly what they are wanting to do.
Yeah, I just don't think they were expecting the instant burst from Wukong, which is something that no one really does, because we haven't seen this champion in ages, really, before this patch. But now that he has a good build for himself, and he's just been quietly, like, his abilities do a lot of damage with it, he just gets to the point where he just pops people. And
Yeah.
actually, Sievert is now 1 versus 4. Make that 2, but I don't think Nazumi's going to help. Actually, yes, he is. He's going to dash back out, but it's not going to matter because Sievert goes down. The Shockwave whiffs, though, and Uigui also going to drop here. So that is a 2 for 0 now for Dota's Demons. Looking for a third, but Nazumi just barely makes it out.
Yeah, that was a... Yeah, while I'm saying that they didn't have to fear anything, it also means that they can't really play dumb either. Yeah, that definitely, there was a little bit of question mark pinging as to why exactly they tried to take that fight, especially as Zaya was backed and no one else was really there to help Sievert.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried here. Blueit actually goes too forward. First to burn the ult, but actually iPlay support is getting low. Not going to matter, though. Blueit is now... It's Blueit and Sievert versus multiple people, but now they don't have a turret to protect them because of Rift Herald. Sievert is probably just going to drop. Blueit is on the run. Can he escape the Trundle and Gnar? Signs point to yes right now, as Uigui's here to back him up. They might just be able to turn this around. Uigui's looking for it, he proto-belts in, but he gets stunned up by the Gnar W, but Sonic Abs is on the flank.
Ooh.
He gets immediately Gnar'd into the hook. That's insane, but it doesn't matter. As good of a play that was, Fergal Venom is dropped.
Alright, I see you, Virgo Venom.
Yeah, that was a pretty sick interaction there from the side of those demons. I'm not sure
Oh,
if
okay, will they kill him? Signs point to no. I was not expecting a Rakan RW over the wall for Scuttle Crab, but he didn't even steal it actually. So,
yeah.
hmm.
So like I was saying, I'm not sure if the whoever got slammed by the Gnar there hit the wall, but something they could have done to make the play even better was to slam him to the wall with Gnar, wait out the stun, and then hook him, and you get a lot of extra CC for free as you're able to layer that much more effectively.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if it hit him in the wall. That was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
it just got him. I think the hook pulled him out of the Gnar ult almost, so it was right into the hook, but regardless, it was still cool.
It was. I know SMPG Ice is going for warriors in his build though. Little, not more damage but less tanky build.
That's a little confusing because he's not really
Yeah.
that far ahead of the Wukong. In fact, he's behind the Wukong.
Yeah, he's about 500, 600 gold down from the Wukong. Yeah, I kind of question mark the warrior purchase from the Trundle as well. I feel like going for something like Cinder Hulk into Zeke's Convergence, it's definitely gonna be the better path for him. Mainly because he can just get so much AD out of, like especially the AD, and more so the tankiness and the resist from the Subjugate, and then being able to combine that with the slow from the Zeeks will be way more effective than just the raw AD Trundle's gonna get.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. I think this is going to hinder their team fight. That's probably what hinders team fight most of the time too. Because he's so squishy, just gets blown up immediately.
Yeah, I think it's starting to confuse me even more, especially that looks like he's building Zeeks. So I feel like, yeah, it's Aegis of the Legion and
Oh yeah, he's definitely
Cool
building Zeeks.
Steel.
Although Sonic Abs forced to burn his flash. That was close. Oh, here comes the charge, though. It looks like AOL want this. The pool in to distract the team. Sievert, unfortunately, his Q doesn't connect. Sonic Abs is in, but his ult has only hit one person so far. He's going to just drop instantly. This could be an opportunity for Dota's Demons. The Shockwave catches 2, and that's 3 for 0 for Dota's Demons.
Oh man, look at this comeback that Dota Demon's been doing so far. Hitting towards the mid game, they just been coming back.
Yeah, but I think it's been less about Dota's Demons playing well, and it's been less about Dota's Demons playing well, and more about AOL just being very disjointed in exactly what they're wanting to do.
Yeah, it's weird that they would try to engage that fight without their Rakan, and especially without their Zaya too, but the Rakan engage is something that really helps their team get off that big chain CC with the Wukong ultimate and the Fled charge.
And looking at the gold now, especially with it being even, this is a not bad spot for Dota's Demons to be in right now.
Yeah.
And especially with a lot of that gold being on Kaisa, she's gonna be doing a lot of damage in the late game.
Yeah, Riv 60 is now about even in gold with Bluet, so that's very good. But he's got his Stinger and he's got his Nashor's Tooth and the Rage Blade already, as well as the Berserker's Greaves at 19 minutes. So he's on a really good pace in this game, especially since he's just been giving an Infernal Drake and a Knight's Vow. So it looks like
Yeah.
their plans just to buff him up, especially with Trundle looking for the Zeeks.
Yeah, I think that's going to be what I said earlier, and that AOL should definitely be concerned about the Kaisa. They are definitely not respecting the Kaisa as much as they should be. And with Vladimir being bot lane, if those demons had some degree of proactivity, I feel like they could actually engage on this. But I think it just looks like the AOL's going to back off. Those demons, I guess they're probably still thinking they're either even or behind right now, so they're probably not looking to necessarily engage onto them, which is definitely understandable. But I think if those demons want to sort of turn the corner now, I think they definitely can.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're just being cautious, not only because now this is playoffs and the stakes are high, but also because they probably won't make the mistake of fighting without their Rakan again. So, like, if there was a Rakan ult in that fight, it probably would have been a totally different story. So they're just taking it slow.
Yeah, I see what you mean there. Now, it's sort of understandable for Gnar to go Black Cleaver into tank. Though I feel like how this game has been going, I feel like a Frozen Mallet maybe out of him, or even something on the lines of like a Bork would be. Those would be interesting choices, but I can also understand why he would go into tank right away.
Oh yeah, but you saying because he would go Frozen Mallet because he's ahead, right?
Well, at least ahead of the Kled. So if he can build a more offensive item to push his split push need even harder than it already is, I think that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to do. But looking at sort of how both teams are playing the map right now, it's definitely understandable how both teams are playing it, though having some degree of side lane pressure out of the Gnar right now would probably be better. He's not quite sure exactly what he's trying to do, especially with him having TP up.
I would imagine the wave is too far up because now he's going to meet it, but before I think it was probably too far up for him to feel safe about going to clear it because of the Kled ult and the fact that, Sonic Abs hasn't hesitated to show up to his lane before. So they definitely look for a pick there.
But I think the thing as well is that those teams had a lot of vision on Baron. And I think back there probably 30 seconds ago, AOL was looking to sort of re-secure vision on Baron. And if AOL was looking to re-secure vision on Baron, there was no way that AOL could be both at Baron and bot side. So I think it's a little bit of a confidence thing, a little bit of a force lack of hindsight, lack of foresight. I mean,
it looks like they're moving on the Baron now. Pings to at least look for vision, if not to try and sneak it. But there's so much AOL vision over there that they're probably not going to sneak it unless they're 100% sure they can't see it. But at this point now, AOL have caught on and are rotating up.
Yeah, sort of both teams have okay vision of Baron. And it's sort of just kind of playing that game of chicken of exactly who's going to engage onto who.
Yeah.
In terms of that aspect, I think AOL has the better engage. But man, if they don't get the Kaisa, I feel like the team fights can be very easily won by Dota's Demons.
Yeah, if only they saw they'd seen Sonic Abs show bot lane like that. They could have just gone for Baron in that case, but it looks like they might be looking for a pick on the Vlad. Yeah, there's the pillar. He's still got his pool, though, but he's actually going to turn in. That's interesting. He's got a TP with him. Now Sievert and Uiguri are there, but he gets caught on the end into a nice 3-man shockwave, but they're all dropping low because of Bluet. Riz60 gets another kill onto Nezumi. Meanwhile, he goes in aggressively with the Kaisa ult. Sievert flashes out, but he's probably going down too. It is now a 3-for-0. Bluet trying to run away, trying to kite them out. Flash forward from Fergal Venom, but he gets rooted up by the Blade Collar, and he's just going to flash out safely.
Yeah, these team fights are going exactly the way those teams are wanting them. Looking for those reactive engages. Allowing the Kaisa to live. It just makes the team fight so easy.
Yeah, Fergal Venom is now Gnar with ult, so he can definitely zone this Wukong out, but it looks like AOL aren't even going to contest this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll be very honest. This is definitely a very uncharacteristic game out of Sievert here. Being 1-6 on a matchup that you can win, or like you can win with the jungler with the Kled ult. I think it's just a very huge missed opportunity from the Wukong, and it sort of can go to show why Wukong wasn't played in the past.
Oh no, I
Mainly
think the
because
Wukong pick is doing great though.
like in the KDA sense, yes, but like look what he's done in the game. Ever since past like about 10 minutes or so, I feel like he's had maybe one good engage, and then he's just sort of been clearing his jungle. He hasn't necessarily looked for picks. His teammates are getting caught out. On a number of occasions, and AOL is just not looking to look for 5-man engages, and it's sort of in some ways playing into the hands of Dota's Demons, because they kind of want them. I think in this situation right now, I think they're wanting to just let the Gnar split push, and if you let them do that, well, I feel like there's different opportunities.
AO Phoenix, though, they pull the trigger again. They're gonna get him. They're going to get Sparky, but they're actually into the backline here. Riv60's caught, but he has the shield from his ultimate. He's kiting back, but this Xayah is critting hugely onto the backline. Meanwhile, Sievert gets a kill. Both ADCs are dead, and it is 2 men alive from Dota's Demons versus now none of them in that fight for AOL Phoenix.
Oh, triple kill coming out from I play support right there.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, it sort of just goes to show, actually, surprisingly, how far behind and how weak AOL is in this situation. That was actually, in my opinion, a really, really good engage off the side of AOL, but it's just, not having the Vladimir there, it just hindered them, because it like I said, if you can't kill the Xayah, or pardon me, if you can't kill the Kaisa, then your chances of winning your team fight are very slim.
Yeah. Speaking of Kaisa, she's massively ahead, but what do you guys think? Are you guys aware of the new Stormrazor Kaisa build? What do you guys think of it, if so?
Yeah, I was going to mention it as she bought the Nashers and the Rage Blade. It's a decent one-item spiking build, and if she goes into crit, well, obviously it provides some degree of tank shred. But I think in the situation that she was in, going for the AP, going for the late game with this exact build right now with the Rageblade, Nashers, and Deathcap gives you a lot of damage on your passive and a lot of damage on that 5 stack. And especially with none of the members on AOO having a ton of tank, a lot of them being more HP stacking tanks than rather resist stacking tanks. She's going to do a lot of percentage health damage to these tanks with not a lot of ways for them to mitigate that damage. Especially with a champion like Vladimir, who predominantly just gets health from his passive and gets health from the items that he builds, and not a lot of resists.
Yeah, hold up, we might be seeing a little engage here on the side of Dota Demons. They see AOL on a ward. Oh, cleared out.
It's funny because Dota's Demons, I haven't really seen them engage that many fights. It's unless AOL way overstep. It's funny. It seems like they're waiting for AOL to come to them because they know that they engage so often.
Oh yeah, they do too, because they got Sievert with the Kled ulti. They also have the Wukong ulti. You have a lot of engages on the side of AOL.
Yeah.
Can't forget about Nezumi right there.
Yeah, they haven't. They also haven't hesitated to pull the trigger at all in this game. So, I would imagine Dota's demons are just trying to counter engage rather than actually go in.
I think in the ways that AOL has been engaging onto Dota's demons, it's been playing exactly into Dota's demons' hands. Allowing the I cannot stress this enough. If AOL does not kill Kaisa very early on in these team fights, they will struggle.
Although it looks like Dota's demons may be looking to engage now. They get the pick on the Seaver, but it looks like they're just going to back off. Actually, nope, never mind. They still want in. The challenging smite goes down, but Nezumi comes in and immediately goes back out. The charge doesn't actually do anything. He's charging away to help his team. Sorry, it did do something. Helped his team get out. I thought he just got stopped immediately. But yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, Kled wasn't retreating. He was charging the long way around.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah, we gonna see him coming right back around again.
Yeah. Dota's demons are now taking the fact that Kled and Rakan ult are down. They're using that window of opportunity to push in.
Yeah, it was a bad rotation on the side of Dota Demons. They let them get that bot turret pretty much for free. You know, they may have gotten Sievert's ulti out of it and Nezumi's ulti. But let's see what they do with that.
Yeah, problem is they have so much wave clear on the side of AOL Phoenix that Xayah can just shred through the lane. Or the wave, my bad. They're just going to back up and, I guess, reset.
Yeah, I think right now, especially with the Infernal Drake, I don't even feel like those demons necessarily have to do anything per se. You don't have to look for the engages. You just have to let that Kaisa survive, and obviously letting the Orianna survive too, letting her get off of Shockwave.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, you saw that? That was like.
It looks like they faked their backs or something, because all of AOL also went back to base, and then they just stopped them and went and took that tower. So really smart play from Dota's demons.
Yeah, that'd be in the area of 200 IQ team plays. Just being able to pull stuff like that, and sometimes doing that stuff too can, obviously this being a series, it can get into heads of your opponents, because it can really start to question not only what they're doing, but like kind of what you yourselves are doing, or like what AOL is how they're gonna exactly execute the game.
I mean, I think they might already be in AOL's heads just because of how, like, they probably came into this thinking they were going to win easily, and it's definitely not been easy, to say the least, so far, as they start up Baron yet again.
Dota Demons have been recently grouping up pretty fastly, and AOL has been getting.
Oh, flash in from Ooey Gooey. He's going to look to try and stop this Baron long enough for Sonic Apps to get there, but he's actually just made it to the river. They could shred this down just like they shred down Ooey Gooey, but there's the engage. Baron goes over to him, but they're all in the pit. The Kaisa's now dead. So is the Wukong. Fergal Venom flashes out as Sparky now and PG Ice are just stuck in the pit. AOL just catch him out, and actually PG Ice does make it out just barely at the end. So 3 for 2 and Baron. What do you guys think? You think it's worth?
I mean, it could be if AOL doesn't get this mid lane hit.
Yeah, and I don't think they will. And sort of what I've been stressing this whole game. Once that Kaisa was dead, it was pretty easy for for AOL to be able to win that team fight. Now, if AOL is able to get this Infernal, being able to match Infernals with a team with AOL's team comp right now would be pretty beneficial to them.
Although Fergal Venom has his Gnar ult, they might want to look to contest this, as he's already whittling down Nezumi. They're looking for it now. PG Ice is onto Blueit. He gets the flash gnarled into the wall. As Nezumi goes in with the W, can they turn this around? Sievert's about to get D-Nard, actually, or D-Scarled. What the heck am I saying? I play support flashes in aggressively, and that's the end of it, 1 for 1. So, honestly, decent trade, though, as the Dragon doesn't go over to AOL, at least not yet, and they do get the 80 carry. Problem is, they're probably just going to take this now, unless Dota's Demons.
Positive for, AOL, they took off the Baron buff off of PG Ice.
That's true.
Though, if Oriana wasn't topside, I feel like they could actually engage this. Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. I feel like if Oriana didn't go topside to catch that wave, if they could have gotten this Drake, and I feel like this Infernal Drake is way more important than that huge wave topside.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely could have sent Fergal Venom up there since he has TP. She could have definitely went down to that dragon. It's a misplay on their part.
Yeah, what I was going to point out
Yeah.
before as well is that actually Rift 60 died a little bit easier than he should have in that fight. He died with both summoner spells up in the back of that Baron pit.
Not a good
Yeah,
look.
but the thing is though is that I've seen this. I watch LS from time to time, and one of the things at least that I've noticed when concerning around Barons is that he would rather let you die with flash up if you get Baron rather than committing the flash to escaping from the fight. As long as obviously other people on your team have Baron, and in that situation, or like with that in mind, I think it's not horrible for the Kais to have both her sums up and her losing Baron, because
Yeah.
obviously, them those demons getting Baron and you know having 3 to 4 members without Baron is better than AOL having Baron, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, also though, whatchamacallit, 2 of them still did make it out alive, and all that AOL ended up getting for that was the Infernal Drake, and they didn't get the inhib, so I guess it is still fine. Just wanted to point that out. And he actually has a GA now. He's got 5 items, so this is a really, really big Kaisa, reaching critical mass.
Yeah. And AOL seem to be on the offensive side right now. They're actually pushing up on Dota Demons. And I'm trying to see how they might do. They look like they want to get a team fight going soon.
Yeah, V-Spawn, like, control.
Yeah, they're actually looking for the engage. Play support gets caught up and bursted down. Riv 60 is going to have to burn his ult and his flash to get out.
And
Oh,
like
Sonic Abs just ults.
yeah, it's little question mark things going on right there. But like I could exactly point to my point before. If Kaisa used Flash to escape from the Baron pit, that would be pretty solid chance that Kaisa would have lost her GA there. Or she might not even have gotten her GA and would have just died. And obviously that can lead to other things happening across the map.
That that Wukong ulti definitely was a oof right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't even know if those teams even seen Wukong use the ult there.
Yeah, they might not have. I
mean, they had a ward in that bush, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh wait, actually, I can. I'm just gonna go back to see.
It doesn't really matter though, just because the Wukong ult is on such a short cooldown. It's actually about to come back up any second now.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So now they have AOL have 4 ults to engage with. The charge is going to come out soon too as well, so they could definitely look to see them engage soon if they want to. They've got all their tools pretty much back up.
And is Zaya in the bot lane right now? Actually, it's not horrible. I for a second almost thought that Baron was up, and that would be pretty mega question mark pings with Baron up inside being bot lane. But obviously that's not going to amount to too much other than maybe losing a little bit of Baron vision control.
Dota Team is definitely opting for the jungle vision right now. It looks like they want to make some picks right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, iPlay Support's hook goes wide, so they're just going to have to back off and wait. As it actually looks like they're just trying to siege top lane. Actually, iPlay Support's all alone, but they choose not to go any further on that.
Yeah, I don't think that's the champ you're looking for with Rakan W.
Ooh.
Yeah, I legitimately don't know who wins this fight if it breaks out right here. Who do you guys think?
I will keep preaching the same hymn I have been for the latter part of this whole game. If AOL does not get Kaisa in their initial engage, I feel like they will have a very hard, if not impossible, time winning the fight.
Yeah, especially now that Riv 60 has the GA too, they're gonna have to kill him twice. Although, actually,
Oh,
they've
wow.
caught him now on this side of the wall. He has no flash. This should be a death for Riv 60, even though the shockwave comes across. This is probably just gonna end up being 2 dead now. Dota's Demons make a huge mistake with the greedy recalls. They may have just thrown their chance back into this game away. That is right as the Baron comes up too.
Ooh.
AOL Phoenix feeling pretty good about that one.
Yeah, it's a very easy Baron. Yeah, I honestly want to take a look at that again. How exactly they got caught out.
Pretty much just lucky vision by the side of AOL there that they saw those recalls.
Yeah, they didn't have wards either. They just kind of, someone happened to walk over there and hit the blast plant as well. That and stop the Kaisa from going over the wall too.
No, you know what it was actually? It was the Recon W hitting at the same time as hitting the blast cone. So when they hit the blast cone, they were still in range of Recon's battle grand entrance, and while they were obviously being within the range of the grand entrance, they got knocked up instead of being knocked back with the blast cone.
Although Sonic Abs is now picked, he's forced to flash.
Yeah, not having flash on that Wukong is actually a decent sized cooldown and slight lack of engage. It would be more punishing if AOL did not have a Kled, but we'll have to see the implications of that.
If you're AOL or if you're just Dota's Demons, I feel like you've kind of misplayed here because they didn't get any wards on Baron now, or not Baron, Elder Drake. So this could just be a Baron and an Elder, basically for free for them. They're coming to contest it, but AOL's already here.
Yeah, I think Dota's Demons gonna have to play this out pretty slowly right now.
I think AOL should be using the Baron, just probably look towards mid side, push mid or top.
But yeah, but obviously, yeah. I
There's
see
no top turret on the side for the top in here for Dota Demons.
Yeah, Dota's Demons definitely want to contest this Elder Drake. They're definitely not going to just let it fall. So yeah, if you're AOL, maybe you look for the towers instead. Although actually, there's the hook on the Sonic Abs and the engage from the Rakan. It hits almost everybody now. It's hard to keep track of what's happening right now. There's people on opposite backlines now right now as Riv 60 is still barely alive, but he's out of the fight. As this is turning around for AOL Phoenix, that's a triple kill for Blueit. So they win the fight on both fronts there, and it's only Riv 60 that's alive now. This could very well be the end of the game for AOL Phoenix. As
I think it did too.
Yeah, they're probably just going to chase down poor Riv 60. He has the blast cone, but there's really nothing he can do, as they're just going to end through top lane.
Yeah, the tower's definitely large enough for that to happen. Look at this 1v1 right now.
Yeah, Nazumi forced to flash, but he's doing his job. He's just keeping Riv 60 from doing anything here, as actually he's just going to go feed him a kill. But it doesn't matter because after a bit of a scare, AOL Phoenix come back into the game in 43 minutes, go up 1-0.
Yeah, but I even though that game was a win, you still got to throw some question onto AOL. How did you throw your mid game as hard as you did? How are you guys getting caught out as much as you were? I would definitely say even though that was a win for AOL, it was definitely not the cleanest.
Oh yeah, gave him a run for their money. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and I honestly hope that if we can get all the games in the series can be like this, but obviously we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, let's see if AOL tighten up, or maybe Dota Demons might bring it back on them.
Yeah, what do you guys think of the damage graphs so far in this game? Or not so far, but
seems accurate.
Sonic Abs only did like 7k damage to champs, which was surprising for me at least.
Yeah, his ganks were like he didn't gank a lot, so I guess that factored in there.
Yeah, like I was saying before, he was pretty irrelevant that game, even though he had the KDA as he did very early on. Yeah, and that Zaya was, I think, the ADCs of both teams definitely were the ones who dictated who won the fights and who was the sole carries of their teams.
I think the Wukong ulti actually did his job and factored in what he did have to do for the team. He's had to get a lot of CC on top of Oriana, Kaisa. Sparky actually couldn't use his exhaust in any of his fights. He had his flash up, he still died there. PG Ice got obliterated by the help of the Vladimir ulti. That that mm, that
Some
Blue Dip
damage
was able
there.
to kill him. Yeah, because Zaya was able to do a lot of damage and just kill most of the front lines for the side of
Yeah,
AoE.
I still think it was a mistake though for the Trundle to not only not get Tiamat to increase his clear speed, but also just getting Cinder Hulk because it just Cinder Hulk gives like 20% bonus health,
Mm.
like bonus health off of bonus health, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and that should, in theory, give him quite a bit more tankiness. Well, not really for giving up that much damage. And if Peachy Ice just wanted to go damage, he could just grab a Tiamat, and that wouldn't not only increase his, obviously his AD, but it would also give him a way better clear, even better clear, to not only just clear out your jungle and farm effectively, but to maybe match the Wukong, maybe go into his jungle or get ganks down, which was definitely something that those demons would need into what people have believed to be strictly better laners out of both the top, mid, and even the bot lane, as we've seen.
Right. And I don't think Virgo Venom could have did a lot. That he was got a nice lead in the top lane, but he couldn't really convert that into team fights. He had some really good ultis, some maybe highlight real ones. But if you look at the goal difference between him and Seaver had like a 2,000 goal lead at the end of that game, and had 12 assists on the side of AOL.
Yeah, I think that just came down to just Seaver participating a little bit more in team fights. I think Seaver got quite a bit of value out of his ulti, though. Actually, just noticing it now, Seaver bought a Yumu's, and I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan, especially with him being behind in that game. Yeah, you can maybe make some argument towards getting the extra move speed on Kled with the Kled ult, making it go even faster, or having the engage without the Kled ulti with the Yumu's. I also just don't think it's worth it when you could be getting more tank while already having 3 damage items and just being able to act as an effective front line.
Jeez. You probably right though. You're right. I don't know the Yuma's pick, but they got the dub in the end. I guess you could say that. But let's see what happens on the next game because it's still playoffs. We got 2 more games to go. You gotta get 1 more. And that game was pretty difficult for them. They didn't get those 2 picks off on the side of Baron. That probably would not have gone the way. We don't know. Can't go back in time. At least what happens.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think if AOL did not get the pick on the Orion and the Kaisa there, the game would have probably gone even longer. If not, Toyota's teams actually being able to win that game 1, they definitely. This is definitely a lot closer series than I think a lot of people have probably suspected. So, AOL definitely looked beatable.
Right. I'm excited. I'm ready for the next one. Let's get it going.
Yeah, just as soon as we get this invite to the lobby, we will be right back.
Who's making the lobby? Let's see.
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Just let us know when we're muted on stream.
Oh, I can't forgive, can't forget myself. The peace that I'm missing, it kills me inside. I need help, oh please give me back. This one pub, this one third, I'm sorry I lost it.
No, I let my weapons fall. I'm drowning in the fears, and now I know that I will fall again and let it go, but I can't stop to run.
All right, everyone, we are back into Champ Select for Game 2. It was a pretty close last game, which ended in Dota's Demons. Their bot lane got picked off, and they unfortunately lost their chance at the upset. What adaptations do you guys think they need to make this game to do better?
Pretty much, you know, they got to get ahead. I mean, not ahead. I would say they got to work on their communication a bit more in their teamwork, saying it in the team fights. I think they had a good thing going for them last game, besides the early game, but maybe later.
I think a shout out to my boy Voslo. He's giving me some insights after the game on the previous game, and I think to play into his words, they're put very eloquently that AOL needs to stop smashing their heads into their respective keyboards, and definitely loosen up those whatever helmets they're wearing. But on a more serious note, I think that AOL just needs to, I think, play a little bit more cohesively on their engages, on their picks, and also I think on that in that tune is just to play responsibly, if that makes sense.
Now I'm angry.
But even now, we're starting to see some degree adjustment in the pick ban right now, seeing that Gnar is being banned, giving Sievert a lot more trouble than he needed to do. But other than that, I think the bans are pretty similar. With Rakan getting first picked from the side of Dota's Demons and the Swain, and another mystery pick on the side of AOL, the Thresh, going to Mizumi.
Yeah, so something I want to touch on that's probably that's interesting is that right, To Live Is To Smile is back in as their AD carry. So what that means is, and he played Swain against Dota's Demons when they beat them so decisively last week. So I would imagine this is a bot lane Swain.
Yeah, that's what I was about to comment on too. That I think Swain is still an okay bot laner. I feel like he has some decent synergies with some particular supports, but he is not at the point right now where he was a couple patches ago, especially not in 8-11, where he was this sort of dominant dominant bot laner that was looking to not only stomp lane against any sort of marksman, but even sort of outscale them into the mid game. But yeah, the Xayah Rakan now being on the side of Dota's Demons, and the Jarvan as well. Is this the teams like switch accounts too? Because I think Dota's Demons actually kind of looks a lot like and a draft that we would see from AOL.
Yeah, I mean, and also AOL now have the Trundle and the Thresh on their side, so it seems like they're just trading bot lanes.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how AOL pairs up with the Yorick per. Now, okay. I have my questions on this Yorick pick. Some pretty big question mark pins. But there's been one game of Yorick in pro play, and that was with Dokla. And they were able to pull it off a decent sort of split push strategy. But that Yorick is going to be paired off against an Aatrox, or in the mid game split push or Rise, which are two pretty hard champions to 1v1 against, and in the space of Aatrox to lane against an Aatrox, I feel like the Yorick's gonna struggle a bit in the lane against the Aatrox if the Aatrox can execute decently.
Yeah,
We got the Ziggs in the mid lane as well.
Yeah. Assuming that Fergal Venom is good at Aatrox, and I believe it's one of his most played solo queue champions. Aatrox is a champion that has basically there's a reason that he's basically so highly sought after and competitive, right? There aren't many counters to him if you know how to play him well, outside of the pro scene, obviously. So definitely good pickup for Dota's Demons if they want to keep winning top lane like they won last game. Although my one worry for AOL Phoenix is they seemed very reliant on Engage in that last one, and outside of the Trundle Pillar into Thresh Hook or whatever, I don't see much of it on their team. Not much reliable Engage.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good point. It seems like they went all the way in one direction, and after that win, they're like, fuck it, we're just going to go exact opposite direction with our team comp. And we're just going to draft 0 Engage, and we're not going to look to team fight, or we're not going to look to pick a 5v5. But on the side of those Demons, though, it seems like all their lanes can kind of match what AOL's trying to do. Rise being able to into the mid game match the wave clear of the Ziggs and be able to pretty easily beat them in the 1v1, being a Rise main myself. The Zyracon bot lane, being able to lane decently into the Swain and the Thresh, and then having the Aatrox also being able to match the Yorick relatively effectively until the mid to late. The only kind of spot where things can get a little bit more interesting will be the Jarvan into the Trundle. Now, I didn't follow jungle matchups previously when Jarvan was really strong in the meta. I feel like there was a time probably closer to Worlds last year, back when both of these champions were picked very evenly. And I think that was actually that was a more common to see in a top lane matchup of Jarvan Trundle over than in the jungle. But I feel like Jarvan's gonna have to make proactive plays alongside the Aatrox here, or I feel like the top side of the maps is gonna fall behind.
Yeah, for sure. I know something else that I want to touch on is that is the bot lane matchup. So they first picked Swain for AOL, and the reason that I believe they swapped with Dota's Demons and picked up the Zyra Rakan is because they wanted to deny the Rakan from Nezumi, not only because he's good at that, but because the Swain Rakan combo is that bot lane combo is actually the most disgusting thing I've ever played against. Basically, if Swain lands a pull, it's just like a guaranteed Rakan W into all the burst, and it's just over. So that's probably why they opted for Zyrakan.
Yeah, I think picking the Rakan first there was a decent sort of heads up draft choice from the side of Dota's Demons. It's definitely showing that they have come into this series decently prepared. Now, in that mid lane matchup, while Uigui kind of won lane against the Orianna, I feel like he was it's one of those lane matchups where unless you're insanely good at mid lane, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to pull off. And I feel like in this situation, it's similar but not exactly. Ziggs is gonna have less burst than the Vlad. It's gonna be harder for Ziggs to 100 to 0. So 100-0 Sparky, but I feel like if Sparky can, just match wave clear, scale up to his items, he should be able to beat the Ziggs in the 1v1. But even then, that's a Ziggs goes bot lane, right? I think Ziggs is going to more predominantly stay mid game just to keep that constant pressure mid. And with something like Xayah being a heavy wave clear ADC, there is a situation where Xayah, Rakan, and Jarvan can just look to deny any sort of engages mid. And then if you just let the Ryze and the Aatrox sword do its thing in the side lanes, you can't have Ziggs and you can't have Ziggs both in the mid lane and in the side lane. And Swain didn't pick up TP as well this game, so he can't be in the side lane either, which, in my opinion, was a little bit of a mistake. I feel like the Swain going TP here would have been probably pretty good, as he's a champion that can relatively match Ryze, and more so went ahead. And yeah, and it's, I think, I'm a little bit biased here as I am a Ryze main. But I think those Demons have a slightly better draft. As in, the draft is a bit more effective at what it wants to do. But whether or not how easy it is, well, I think I'm gonna favor that a little bit more towards AOL's side, mainly because Ziggs is pretty hard to engage on. Swain with Thresh and Trundle is pretty hard to engage on. And Yorick is, if left alone to his own devices, he can just easily run people down and get turrets pretty easily.
As we start here for the game, it should be fun to go.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys got in, right?
Yeah, we're in.
Yep, I did.
All right, cool.
And we get a pause.
Apparently, someone other than us did not.
Oh.
Yep.
Bugs Black.
Yeah. There's the Swain reconnecting. The one thing I will say is a little bit interesting is right now for Ryze, there's two pretty common level 1 build paths right now. One is one that's very similar to Sparky's right now, where you go Mana Crystal into refills, what I like to go, but he went triple pot. And then usually with that, you go Ravenous Hunter, or you go Domination Secondary with Ravenous Hunter and Taste of Blood. But the one that's being seen a little bit more in pro play now has been going Inspiration Secondary, which is what Sparky went, but instead going for a Corrupting Pot start. Mainly because that, combined with Time War Tonic and Biscuits, provides an insane amount of sustain and pretty much prevents the Ryze from ever being out of poked out of lane. So we'll have to see how accurate Ooey Gooey's skill shots are, and whether or not he can at least put a little bit of pressure onto this Ryze.
Right.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
This is what, our second time or third time seeing Ziggs in dual esports.
Yeah. Actually, fun thing to point out, I Play Sport has no items.
Oh.
I don't know if
Let's
he's
see how long
noticed yet, but he has no items.
Yeah, let's get that oof in the trap, boys. That's what I'm talking about.
The big oofers.
Oh yeah, that's that big word now, huh? Wait, can't you get 3 pots?
No, you can't. So this patch, they just changed it so the support starting items are worth 50 more gold, so they're 450 instead of 400. And
they're 400 instead of 350.
Sorry, 400 instead of 350. And now you basically they did that because there was too many ways to sustain, I guess. For supports, they felt that, I guess, supports getting 3 health pots made them too durable, so they decided only 2. That's why.
Well, it's more with like supports like Alistair, who would have not only his passive but his relic shield and something like refillable or triple pot combined with Biscuits is like you can never poke the Alistair out of lane.
I know.
Those
As
two
a
just
Alistar main, it made me this change has made me very sad. But yeah, it's it is what it is though.
But do you think he's
I'll take
gonna
it.
realize he has no items?
I'm sure he already has.
You just can't back now.
Yeah, he probably just realized too late.
Yeah, so this is honestly gonna hamper his laning a slight bit. Or actually, well, let's hamper his laning and more of his ability to generate gold.
Yeah. Oh, that was really bold
Yeah.
walking up. He
I
gets
think-
pulled back and he's
no,
gonna
I think
flash.
You know what I think happened was he thought that coin was his.
Possibly.
So he went and walked up and get it, and realized, oh no, that isn't my coin.
Definitely does
Meanwhile-
not know it, so now. Had to blow his flash for that too, so that's definitely a hindsight.
Yeah, I think we gotta get some PogChamp in the chat now that finally Rakan has his support item.
Yeah. That's that was a bit of a yikes earlier on, but yeah, I'm pretty sure now that he has bought coin that he thought that was his. Nazumi is lying in wait. He gets the yank back, but there's minions there. It's actually Sonic Caps is ganking Fergal Venom. He's rooted
wait,
up. Seaver goes for the dive and he gets outplayed. First blood goes to the Aatrox.
Holy
Very
moly.
disrespectful.
That man ambitious.
Yeah. As though actually I play
Rakan
support's
not
caught
leveling
out.
up E for level 2. That's really oh. Yeah, I don't play support, but I feel like in the situation of that lane, I feel like having the extra dash is super good,
Yeah.
especially early on.
You can... Oh, actually, they're looking for a trade now. I play support, goes in, gets the knock-up on the Nazumi. There's the burst, but it's going to get turned around on him. Riv 60's looking for it. He does get the kill. Meanwhile, he's one-on-one versus To Live Is To Smile, but the problem is he just has his heal left, so he's just going to have to run away. And he's going to actually get pulled and doesn't even use his heal, so costs him his life there. Meanwhile, Sparky gets a decent trade on the Uigui, so break that one down.
Yeah, I feel like she need to use the heal if she wanted to live.
Yeah, you probably would have had to use it a lot earlier, right?
Not even necessarily a lot earlier, just
Sparky's bit
he
off
has
more
Q.
out of
Oh, he doesn't have
more
his
off.
Q.
Yeah, he's just gonna be able to
both
walk out.
players with no mana. Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. It's really good for the Rise because he has TP now. Just gets the back with tier, and then matchups becomes really well for him. So I don't think Ziggs has enough gold, or he has enough gold for tier, but obviously he's going to lose quite a bit of tempo in the lane without TP at all. Yeah, getting 2 kills on that Swain early is going to be huge.
Yeah, pretty much a replay of last game. So far, you got Fergal Venom doing pretty good in the top lane, in the laning phase, and AOL taking control of that bot side right now.
Yeah, it just feels like they've obviously swapped comps to an extent, at least, in terms of their goals.
Nice poke out there by Seaver, though. I'm liking that right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, with him struggling to deal with those zombies and whatnot.
Yeah. York excels at being super annoying.
Yeah.
And it's like York's solo kill potential is extremely high. That's what he's really good at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
play
a pretty
support.
solid laner.
He's walking up pretty far again. It's good for them that they didn't go in. Actually, I play support does opt to go in. He hooks back. He actually, wow, intercepts the hook from Xayah. That was a good team play for him there. But luckily for AOL, they decided not to go on that because PG Ice was lying in wait there in that bush.
Okay.
Although he's looking for a gank mid lane, gets the flag and drag, but does not get the knockup. He's just gonna actually get chased out. Although Sonic Abs is looking for a gank, but he's level 4. Sparky should just be able to run away.
Pretty much telegraph grades on both sides here. No one can get a gank off.
Yeah, with the EW combined with the empowered runes and the phase rush, it's actually really hard to gank Rise.
Yeah, if he gets
Um,
his combo off, he should be able to just run. Although, Nezumi with the fake lantern, he actually faked me out for a second there.
I did too. I was like,
I was
okay.
like, oh, is this a gank? Nope.
do we have an idea of what time the blue will be up for those demons side? Because Zake's having
No.
the blue right now is pretty huge.
Yep, although Sonic Abs looking for the play bot lane. The hook goes wide, but the pillar's still there. They get the double knockback or pullback onto Riv 60. He is going to burn down pretty soon. And while I play support, can he make it out of this? I guess he's just gonna run away. Meanwhile, in the top lane though, Sievert and Fergal Venom are trading. He gets the third Q onto Sievert and just takes him down. Oh,
And the
wow.
key thing is there too is that Aatrox even need to use his ultimate.
Fergal Venom's got something to prove out here against Seaver. I'm telling you, like, I feel like he deserves to be All Stars. He feel like he missed out some votes.
I think Thiever's just underestimating him.
Oh yeah, that too.
But then again, I feel like Aatrox could have just left that lane frozen there, and it would have just been a death sentence for the York, because then York can't step up CS at all. Especially that Aatrox now has 2 kills and he's matching the CS of the York. It's gonna be real rough.
What do you
in
think?
Seaver's case, he has that CS advantage.
What do you think of Talivis to Smiles CS lead bot lane?
Disgusting. I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah, especially with the last game these two teams had and the amount of presence that the Swain had, it's not entirely surprising. Swain's a pretty strong laner, especially with someone paired like a Thresh. And definitely, I could say right now that I think Misumi is the better Thresh over I play support. At least at least right now, he's been able to do compared to the when I play support played it.
He likes throwing out these little baits a lot.
Yeah, I hate it
Yeah,
when
that's
people do that.
Since you want to bring up his Nezumi's Thresh, who you think he's got the best Thresh in the league?
I wouldn't want to say that with like 100% certainty. More so, I think there's like a couple other Thresh players in this league, and I would probably have to give them a bit better sort of thought and analysis.
All right, got you. I ain't got nobody in my mind either.
Yep, although there's another root on the Riv 60. They're going to actually try and turn on the Nezumi. The Swain ult is popped, but of course Directed Camera decides to take us away right as the action starts. Nothing more happens though. They're just able to walk right back under their turret.
We got Sonic Gas coming to the top side. He could be looking for another gank up here.
Actually, the important thing for that bot side all-in was that Swain used his ultimate there. So he doesn't have ultimate right now.
Yeah, PG Ice is down there too, looking to try and possibly get a gank as the ping goes onto that.
I play support looking real aggressive right now.
I think he might even
giving
be
it away
partially
a little
trying to
bit.
just bait him in here so they go for this and PG Ice can just come in. Looks like they're not going to take it.
Oh,
They're looking really aggressive onto it.
he might have just been looking for the Swain more, but I feel like if he just...
Oh, there is the flash grand entrance into the
Oh.
Cataclysm there, and that's just one kill. Nezumi's going to go down. Will live to live as to smile drop. Signs point to no. He's just going to be able to be Swain and walk away.
So that was kind of an intuitive gank from the Jarvan there, coming from behind the
Yeah,
turret.
although Fergal Venom has now popped his ult, but he's going to actually get the yank back on the Seaver, and he's going to end up killing him. So that is a killing spree now for Fergal Venom as they go for the Infernal Drake. Meanwhile, Sonic Abs is actually getting taken pretty low by Sparky here, but he's going to be able to walk away. And the Ziggs Bomb doesn't steal the Dragon. Infernal Drake for Dota's Demons.
Yeah,
You know,
if
oh,
I
you
was
go
in the camp of the AOL side, I'd be very disappointed in Stevert's play so far in the series. It's been really questionable, and it's definitely scratching my head a little bit too as to sort of how exactly Sievert's been losing these lanes.
Yeah,
he's
it's
had some
definitely
good
lackluster
picks.
right here on the side of AOL with Sievert. He needs to probably pick up his game if they really want to get back in the form.
I think
Yeah,
the one insight I will give though is I think in both of these games he's been playing. I wouldn't say into bad matchups, but into matchups where Sievert's not been allowed to play aggressively. And I'm not sure if he's someone who's just more comfortable playing on aggressive picks, or if he hasn't been used to playing against aggressive picks. But yeah, it just seems like something's off.
yeah. Although from what I've heard from my my top laner for the team that I play on, Aatrox and solo queue at least has basically no counters, so it's definitely rough for Sievert. They might want to consider banning that.
They said no counters?
Yeah, basically.
Fiora? I thought Fiora counted Aatrox pretty hard.
I believe what he said about Fiora was that it requires too much execution, basically.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just his
Yeah.
opinion, but yeah,
I've played Aatrox a little bit, and it's definitely the champions that have a lot of dashes in their kit or a lot of mobility in the kit. He has a hard time dealing with. Like the thing is that even though those champions are hard for him to deal with, they're not impossible for him to deal with. I think he can. If he lands at least some parts of his queue, then he could definitely look to constantly proc Deathbringer stance, constantly reduce the healing, and get win trades, either evenly or slightly ahead.
Mm-hmm. Most
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah, surprisingly enough though, so this is a even game now at 13 minutes basically with just a little tiny edge to Dota's Demons in gold. This has obviously blown everyone's expectations for the series kind of out of the water. What do you think Dota's Demons has changed since their disastrous meeting against AOL Phoenix last week that's helped them?
I think the one thing I gotta say is that while I've played with Riv 60, but he was playing top lane, I think he has been it's not like he's been necessarily straight up carrying his team, but it's more like he hasn't been playing poorly enough. So I think that has a bit of a factor. I think Sparky playing like it's not like none of their players are particularly strong, but it's them just playing together cohesively
So
and playing well enough to maybe get advantages.
then would you say that PG Ice and Sparky are a better jungle mid duo than I Am Evelyn and CGem then? Because that's who played for them for in their last matchup last week.
Um, that's definitely a tough one.
Because they
The
chose to
thing,
start them to this time, obviously. So
because here's the thing, I've played in our last game when I played against I Am Evelyn and Sparky. I didn't really see the Diana do quite that much in that game. It was more just the Thresh MF combo being able to win them team fights constantly, or the Akali being able to pick us off while we were trying to deal with Thresh and the MF, and a lot less of the ability of the Diana to do anything. Now, will I say that PG Ice is necessarily doing things that I Am Evelyn could not do? That's a little bit more of a debate. Though I feel like with the picks that he has been playing, he has been doing, he's been doing his job.
right. It also seems like he has a much tankier pool of champions than I Am Evelyn does, for the most part, at least.
Yeah, and I'm definitely someone in the camp that being able to play tanks gives so much more leeway for your other players on your team to play non-tanks. I think should always be someone who should be able to at least play tankier champions. It doesn't necessarily have to be hyper tanks like the Sejuanis and Zax of the jungle, or the Orns and the Maokais of the top lane, or of the Brahms or the Tom Kenches of the support role. But if if you could play the stuff like the Jarvan, like the Trundle, who's a relative tank, I think you provide your team with a lot of ability for everyone else to kind of shine as a result.
Okay. I want to see how To Live the Smile is going to go ahead into the out of laning phase during this game. I want to see how he's going to be efficient enough for the side of AOL, because they're going to really need him to come out and Seaver. Let's see if maybe he can get back into this game, maybe turn around 1v1 fight, because he's really behind right now.
Yeah, but I think it's a lot better now for the side of Dota's Demons than it was earlier in the lane. Because it was, I think if I recall, it was something like a 15 to 20 CS lead very early on, when it was something like 50 to 20 or 50 to 30. But now it's gone to 70 to 81, which, while it's definitely behind, it's not insurmountable.
Yeah, you're right. So you guys think who's going to take the win for this game, though? Is it going to be AOL, Dota Demons be looking for a 1-1, or a straight 2-0?
I think.
You go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, I think AOL just has to play around to live its smile. I think that's their way of winning this game.
You think it's going to be 2-0, though? That's what you're saying. You're still going for AOL.
I think that's the most likely way right now that this game could end up being on the end up ending, would be through To Live Its Smile getting a lead. But meanwhile,
Yep. Although here's the dive here. I don't know if they actually want this as 2 versus 3, but they're actually able to quickly burst down the Trundle. Meanwhile, they're just now 3v1 on the Seavert. They have the Aatrox ult, so they can basically just dive this for free. Ziggs is rotated up here, but Fertile Venom's just going to revive, so they should just be able to kill Uigui. Although he does flash and cleanse back under his own tower, so he should be safe. But big win there for Dota's Demons.
All right. Dota Demons actually trying to come back with some ferocious, forget that word. You know what I'm saying? Dota Demons winning right now.
Yep, and Uigui is just going to get flashed on and killed. He almost makes it out of there with his W, but almost not quite good enough.
That was a little bit greedy on the side of AOL, trying to stay and protect that turret. I'll be very surprised right now if Seavert has any sort of impact in this game. And it's partially one of the reasons why I just don't like the Yorick pick in general.
Yeah.
If a situation ends up like this, then this is literally a 45.
The problem for AOL, it feels like now, is that it seemed like they picked things that should have been better in lane, and while bot lane did win, mid lane's gone even, and top lane has lost. I mean, actually, I don't know anything about Yorick and Aatrox, but I feel like Yorick is, pretty alright laner. But what I'm saying is Dota's Demons don't have the ability, or they have the ability to proactively do things, and they're ahead. It feels like it's really, really hard for AOL to engage, because they don't have like a go button, or like 5 go buttons like they had last game. As actually, there's another pull on the Riv 60. Izumi does land the hook right through the minions into the Flay. There's the Xayah ult that basically stuns them up. That's basically just going to mean that they survive. So really good play by Riv 60 there. The Blade Caller saves his life because he has To Live As a Smile doesn't get to walk up.
They got this bot lane dive here.
Yeah, they're still looking for the dive. Problem is there's a Jarvan here now. They outplay the Rakan, but it doesn't matter because they're just locked down and killed. PGI's flashes without looking for the flag and drag, but I don't know if they can catch him. Yeah.
Nah. Yeah, like what I was saying before in the first game, I think Dota's Demons, to an extent, have gotten into the heads of AOL, not really, just playing together a lot more effectively. Obviously, we can't hear their comms, but maybe their communication is looking a lot more cohesive, with a lot more of an active game plan.
Yeah, well,
We got
they have
this.
the underdog mentality, so when they start winning, it feels really good for them.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt. And
Yeah.
I was seeing on PG Ice and the way he likes to play. He likes to play a lot of damage in his kit. If you're going for any champion, mostly, he just likes to get that damage off of the team. So I'm curious to see how he's gonna play during the late game, during the team fights.
I mean, yeah, he's going electrocute, but that's basically standard for Jarvan now.
Ooh.
Yeah, like what York was saying, he's got to dig his way out of a pretty big deficit right now in the top lane. Actually, it's 1,500 gold right now. 1,500 gold lead that's actually like at least half of the total lead right now that those demons have over AOL.
Yeah. And actually, I play support gets caught again, but it doesn't matter because he has Xayah with him. PGI is possibly looking for the re-engage, but they think better of it, unfortunately, after they pop the quickness, so not looking... That was a bit unfortunate for Dota's Demons.
Chilla the smile with a little flash of a little emo right there.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll add is while
Cataclysm though onto Nezumi, he's just gonna get dropped. Meanwhile, there's Rise caught by himself. Sparky's probably going to drop here, so that is a 1-for-1 as Riv 60 also forced a flash, almost killed himself. Although, here comes the Ziggs bomb. Don't recall, man, it gets him. Oh no. Meanwhile, though, I play supports yanked back. They're not done quite yet. Great ult from Ooey Gooey just secures that kill.
Yeah, I think, for how much I've been harping on AOL, even though that York's been pretty behind, they're still finding ways to get leads. They're still looking to be proactive on the map.
They actually have the turret lead now.
Yeah, especially with the Rift Herald heading down.
Yeah, she's gonna get another charge too. Actually, her first charge. Wow, so AOL Phoenix come back in style. They're trying to even up this gold lead, and they're getting close. It's only 1k now. Can they kill Rift Herald before it gets another charge? No. So now it's 2-4 in terms of towers for AOL.
Yeah, with that is pretty much effectively evened up the gold lead.
Yeah, taking towers in this kind of game is like really important. Like, I'd say that's probably a bigger lead. I don't know if dragons are more efficient to towers, but it's a tough call.
Towers give your team in general a lot more gold. But obviously dragons have a lot of sort of subtle gold values, especially infernals, as they give quite a decent amount of raw stats. The Ocean too, especially for either champions that don't build mana items like the Jarvan, like the Rakan, and even the Xayah to some extent, since the Xayah doesn't go SS Reaver now. Meanwhile,
I play support gets caught, shut down. They're looking for Riv 60. He only has his heal. He doesn't have flash, but I don't think that AOL know this, and they're just gonna back out.
Yeah, so like what I was saying, with a lot of the champions that aren't building a lot of aren't building mana items, or something like Rise where he just uses a lot of mana, the Ocean Drake is definitely very nice.
Yeah, they were looking for a TP play there, but Sparky ended up canceling it.
And something I just noticed right now that was kind of interesting was the Abyssal Mask pick from the Rise. So I can explain this one. Back in earlier this season, Abyssal Mask used to have
oh wait, here comes the engage there. They're going to get onto the Thresh. They're going to kill Nezumi. The Ziggs bomb only catches Jarvan, though. There comes the flash ult from To Live Is to Smile. It does not kill anyone. Meanwhile, though, the York is actually doing work bot lane, split pushing. He could just get this inhib cracked, although actually it looks like he'll just back up. Although at the same time, Sparky is split pushing for Dota's Demons. So he's going to get that. PG Ice looking for Sievert, but he's fighting him in a minion wave against a Yorick, and the Maiden is still alive, so he's not going to win it. Another turret falls for AOL Phoenix. So this ain't looking too good for Dota's Demons. I think that trade goes in AOL's favor.
But then again, this Rise is still split pushing. Somebody's got to respond to it. While the Thresh is there to provide some sort of moral support. Yeah, I think Sparky definitely just did his job. I think as long as AOL doesn't crack Dota's Demon's base within the next 8 minutes, that's perfectly fine for the side of Dota's Demons.
And another thing we want to point out is like Fergal Venom is like pretty much back to what's going on since last game. He had a nice lead in the early game, but right now he doesn't look like he can even 1v1 York right now, or he's not even looking towards it. So probably should get that handled so he can help his team out a little bit more towards the late game.
Yeah, it seemed like he lost the 1v1 with him in the bot lane, and York started getting all that damage on the inhib tower, so a little worrying that he's 4-0 and he couldn't fight him, but...
Yeah, the thing is, though, is York right now has Triforce, and that's a particularly big spiking item for him. The only way probably Aatrox could combat it is if he gets the Sterix gauge, and then at that point, I think Aatrox, if he can get that before York gets another damage item, I feel like he can throw his weight around in that matchup, as long as he obviously dodges the walls and he dodges.
Yep. Here comes the engage though, a 3-man flag and drag into the quickness grand entrance, and the cataclysm comes down, but it's not enough. They don't burst AOL Phoenix down, and they actually trade 2 back. So a brilliant setup from Dota's Demons goes awry, as Sparky will probably now drop as well. He pops the... Oh, actually, he turns it around with the Seraph's Embrace, but he's just going to get dropped by Sonic Abs too. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Riv60 and Fergal Venom are trying to bring down Sievert. He's going to retreat behind his the Maiden, but Maiden goes down. Problem is, Sievert's running the wrong way, but that doesn't matter because they're just trying to stop them from recalling, as this just gives AOL a window into the base. As actually Riv60 will get back, but now Sievert and Fergal Venom one-on-one. There goes the ult from Fergal Venom, so he should win this, but actually, nope, he's resurrecting. So Sievert actually does have the edge here. He's going to get him. Actually, no, he'll get pulled back. Not just yet. Fergal Venom on the run. Doesn't quite get it, and also they're not able to crack the base. Meanwhile, PG Ice has respawned and run back top lane. That's how long this fight's gone.
Yeah, that engage was actually really clean, but the only problem was that the Xayah was completely not there. I don't really know why exactly the Xayah was trying to look to help kill the Yorick at all. Mostly because he was just wasting his time. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting series of events, but obviously not leading to too much other than another top lane turret. But
yeah, I just feel bad because the setup was so good from Dota's Demons. PGI snuck into that bush and then just hit like a great 3-man flag and drag into his ult, and the Rakan engaged, but there was just not enough damage for them to get any kills.
Yeah, it's pretty much like the same problem they've been having. Even Fergal Venom and Riv60 was up there trying to handle Sievert, and they still couldn't do it. So that's a problem they have to look out for later on in this game.
Yeah, I think with this sort of split push setup now, where the Rise can maybe look to more effectively deal with the Yorick.
I don't know. It doesn't look like he's doing a great job of it. Sparky's actually going to be forced to ult away, but he's ulting like 10 feet away, and he just gets solo killed by Sievert. So Sievert has definitely become a threat in this game.
Yeah, kind of surprisingly. I think it's just been mainly more because he's been able to hit. I'm not sure. I don't play Yorick, so I don't know what the ability is when he throws out the throws out that little AoE.
It's called. I think it's called Morning Mist.
Yeah. his morning mist. He's been able to hit a lot of morning mists, and obviously with the combination of the zombies and hitting that spell, and then just catching people inside the wall.
Yes.
Obviously, it just adds in a lot of strength. But look, right now, AOL picks up Baron.
Yeah, they were just so focused on trying to deal with Sievert, which they couldn't even do, that they just gave up all their pressure and vision of Baron Pit, and AOL just shreds that down, and just like that, they're back in this game.
Yeah, it's real surprising that Fergal Venom couldn't actually handle this matchup. I don't know if he knows the matchup too well, because lately he has not looked like he's been able to handle Searat at all. And that should have probably been the case because he had like a 16,000 goal lead on him.
1600, yeah.
Yeah, 600.
And even now, you can just look at the CS difference right now, and it sort of goes to show how effective just straight split pushing with the York can be.
Yeah.
You ever see any interesting items?
Yeah, as this game goes longer, it's definitely not going to be in their favor for Dota Demons. I can see AOL taking this away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in terms of items, Trundle not building Zeeks is an interesting one. Rakan going for the Ardent Sensor first item, a little bit interesting too.
Yeah, Nazumi did that last game too. Actually, as someone who plays Rakan, I find that a little questionable because I think Zeke's is just a lot better right now than Ardent Sensor if you're trying to buff up your Xayah. Because basically, Rakan almost always ults offensively. He always basically ults when he wants to do it. And that AoE with his engage and the Xayah is just so good. As actually PG Ice gets caught by the hook and the flay, PG Ice is going to run, just leave I play support for dead, as he's going to just barely get killed. Meanwhile, Nazumi gets the hook onto the Xayah, but he almost goes down himself, and Sievert is just untouchable here by this inhib, and he's just going to start whacking it and probably take it down any second now.
Yeah, Sievert basically unstoppable right now.
Yeah, he's gonna probably get his demolish and then back off. Actually, no, he doesn't. Or does he, actually? I have no idea what just chunked that. It was probably, actually, I think it was a Void Link. So, let's see. Will they kill Sievert 1v2? No, he just kind of burst Xayah. And this is just looking like it could be the end of the game here. AOL are about to triple inhib them, basically just out of nowhere, because Sievert is just such a force here. And they may kill him, but it's going to be hard. Sonic Ab's also dropping low, but the Nexus towers are both down. AOL Phoenix are onto the Nexus, actually. The Ziggs is over there. He's actually going to get chased off, though. They're looking for it. Dota's Demons trying to survive, but Uigui drives, gets another one in. Sievert's still alive onto this Nexus. AOL Phoenix, after a rocky start, is he going to get it? Yes, he is. After a rocky start, AOL Phoenix come back and 2-0 Dota's Demons.
Yeah, the main thing with that Yorick pick is it's a lot. I find it super annoying too when I see it in my solo queue games. When that Yorick just looks to just stay in a lane and not even worry about the team. Be like, hey guys, I got this side lane. Don't you worry about me. I'll just split push the whole game. And I think what happened that game was that those Demons kind of try to just rotate around the map too much, and while they were trying to be everywhere, they were kind of nowhere at the same time, and that's just kind of like the champions like Yorick, like the Ziggs, just perma shove in, get objectives super easily, and sort of regain all the gold, while not really laning or I guess in a way playing lane well mechanically. I'll say that. Not to kind of say the players are sort of bad. So the one main thing, the last thing we could probably get out of this whole series is that AOL definitely looks beatable. If probably a lot of people, if you were to probably rank a lot of the top teams or probably the teams in the playoffs, is like who would be the first, who would be the last, and I think a lot of people would probably put those Demons at probably at the straight bottom. And if those demons can give AOL as much sort of trouble and sort of disruption as they did in both these games, I think I can imagine what would happen if better teams start playing against AOL and AOL continue to play like they have been in these two games.
It was definitely a fun series to watch.
Yeah.
Pretty much Sievert, and he definitely carried that game. He was able to let AOL do what they really wanted to do. You know, they got Baron because he was basically hold everybody down bot side and still live. And pretty much he did have a rough start, but they bring it back and shows why he was all-star this year.
Yep. So AOL Phoenix now move on to play the winner of OC Nation versus ESG Genesis. Before we go, you guys want to give a prediction for that series?
For which series? Sorry.
OC Nation versus ESG Genesis.
All right. There's an ESG player on the casting panel right now. If you want to take a wild guess as to my prediction,
I gotta guess.
I'm gonna say it's the season of ES3.
I thought he was gonna say OC Nation. Damn, I'm so wrong. Oh well. Anyway, nah, I like I said, I'm an underdog guy, so I'm rooting for ESG in that one as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess it's probably a good time to reiterate that this series was a lot closer than the 2-0 score at the end of it. Dota's Demons definitely put up a great fight, but it was barely not enough. They made a few mistakes that just cost them big time. So GG to them. For myself, the casters, everyone else, this will probably do it for today's stream. Check back in tomorrow for our other quarterfinal matches, starting at noon with Conquer versus Havoc. Then at about 2, we'll have A3 Sports versus Naughty Nips, and ESG versus OC Nation at 4. So, yeah, I'm En Walrus. This is Lucius and Kopek, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.